Keep a seat where the light won't reach. Whisper low so it sounds like peace. Lay your head, let the ceiling spin. You don't have to begin again. I've been here where the air goes thin. Saw what happens when you try to win. Better stay where the walls don't move. Nothing left that you have to prove. I pull you close till you forget what you wanted most. It's just the way of the world. Down in the dirt where the flowers bloom. It's just the way of the world. You'll feel the power of an empty room. It's just the way of the world. Just wait a moment and we'll start again. You are the current slow. I can show you what I know. Every spark only burns you out. Every dream just a longer drought. I don't lie, I just dim the flame. Give your hunger another name. Call it calm, call it letting go.
Check.
All that you'll never know. If you don't raise, you don't fall apart. That's the safest way to break a heart. It's just the way of the world. Down in the dirt where the flowers bloom. It's just the way of the world. You'll feel the power of an empty room. It's just the way of the world. Just wait a moment and we'll start again. You are the enemy of my friend, my friend, my friend, my Stay down, stay near, I need you right here.
Welcome, kids.
Stay down,
Down,
stay
stay.
small, I'm nothing.
Thanks, CSL. This album's coming out in June, if I can swing it, this month. Might be beginning of July. I've got 2 more tracks I'm still working on. All right. But you're going to have to wait to listen to the whole song, Ben. Welcome, everybody. Yes, thank you, Facebook, for your immediate disapproval emojis. I'm going to need those just to get people on board with this. You need some likes and some subscribes. Hit the subscription. I mean, it's not that much work. I don't want to sound like Bill Burr, but, and I'm just saying it, Hey, if you're going to do it, just do it. It doesn't take any work. It's free. What are you waiting for? I've always felt like one of the reasons why Bill Burr is funny, besides he's a decent joke writer and, on the merits, I would say, is that his voice sounds a little bit like a comedy trumpet from an old 30s movie, like it has that kind of same staccato silliness that was big in sort of Three Stooges-y kind of stuff. Anyways, there you go. Hey, all right, that's okay. I did my first real vocal exercises today. Tomorrow's going to be a big one, obviously, because I got 2 shows tomorrow and all this stuff, and I'm easing my way back into it so I can sing by Friday. That's the goal. High speed Seinfeld. You're pretty close. I agree, Bill. And by the way, Bill is a nice guy. And comedy is comedy. We know the difference between like comedy and mean-spirited bullshit. His is soundly in the area of comedy. People should be able to be as funny as they want about whatever they can be funny about. And just because you don't like a joke or you don't like the tenor of the concept of the joke, as long as it's still a joke, we're okay, is my point. And I think you know what I mean. And you don't. So let's see, we're up on Insta, so we're all right. Okay, so if you yeah, I know we gotta jump straight in.
It's time for a shameless plug. Oh yeah, it's shameless plug time.
All right. Yeah, I know that's what's up. Sexy Liberal, new show, October 24th, 2026, 8 o'clock at the Saban Theater. Haim Saban, owner of that theater, gave me my first job as a game show host, my first hosting job, besides stand-up, obviously, but my first television hosting job, hosting Treasure Mall for Saban before he bought Power Rangers. Didn't make me one of the Power Rangers. Still grinding on that one, even though I had more martial arts skill than anybody that they hired. Don't get me started. But we will be at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills, 8 o'clock, October 24th. Highly recommended if you're in the LA area. Now also, now that we've got a toe in the door, Steph heads, I need you guys to be on full attack. Call in and go, I got a venue for you in South Carolina. Come on down. We want you to come to Florida. We need you, all the places we haven't been, right? I mean, granted, we go to Madison, Wisconsin again. They'll have us, and it'll be lovely. And I'm sure downtown Chicago, there's a couple of places for us to perform. However, we really need to get to these purple areas. We need to get to South Carolina, North Carolina. We need to get to parts of Texas and Tennessee, shit like that. We need to get to Northern California. We need to get to, like, Eastern Oregon, right? We need to start playing these kind of places and start, mixing it up instead of just going to the safe spaces. So happy birthday. Right on, 92%. I'm very excited. So, yeah, Northeastern Ohio. I agree. We need to go to Cleveland. We need to go to Cincinnati. There's a lot of overlap in Cincinnati. Go to Nashville. Come on. Let's do it. So bother her about it. Also, if I may, and I think that I can, where is it? Here it is. Let's get this out of here. And this weekend, where are you, silly person? There you go. San Jose at the Ritz, Friday. This Friday, 8 o'clock. Come on now. Look at this. What are these two things? There's $20, and then $32 day of show. I see. So it's more expensive. So if you buy tickets now, it's only $20. Awesome. Okay, great. We're worth the other higher ticket price, but why procrastinate if you don't have to? So anyway, so that's really awesome. Those are our two big ones for the time being. I'm very excited about another Sexy Liberal gig. Please, I'm going to be writing songs, and holy shit, like I'm going to be bringing props like Carrot Top out to these things. I mean, come on. Is Nashville purple? Yes, it is. So many places are purple. If we just got a chance to stand there and go, it's okay. Shit, we should do Frankfort, Kentucky. How about this? Sexy Liberal comes to your capital. Wherever the capital of your state, will come to your capital. That's the thing. Yeah. So anyways, that's I'm for it. Now, today's, if I may, you may have seen as the show was setting up, or if you're just joining us, or what the title of the show, today's show is. I'm going to show you this again real quick, just for the heck of it. Don't get caught. Don't worry that there's a countdown happening. But I have to say, I got a little, we got a wild hair up my ass again today as I was doing my standard kind of research on things. And it sticks in my craw, if I may, all of these, like everywhere you turn, it's a conspiracy. And not just your JFK and it was the Rothschilds, the Jews, and the military industrial complex, and the Catholic Church, and the mafia working with the Italians who are with the Catholic, and the Cubans, and some transvestites. Like, it's, after a while, it's just so fucking, it's everybody. And so at this point, I'm beginning to think that the only real conspiracy that exists, if there is one at all, is this conspiracy factory. Everything's a fucking conspiracy. Some things just are the way they are. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but even stuff that would qualify as a conspiracy, I can't wait. I'm going to go see. My kid and I are going to go see Disclosure Day this weekend. Very excited to see that. We're bringing a little gaggle of folks because I've been wanting to see this one in the theater. It's kind of a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I loved when I was a kid too. And like it opens up that debate about whether it's a good thing or a bad thing to tell everybody in the world that we're not alone in the universe. Like, how could they handle it? Will it psychologically be okay? Will people jump off of roofs? Will we have a bunch of fucking hail bops that will cut their nuts off and go lay out in the desert with their Nikes next to the bed and expect a comet to pick them up? Like, that's a concern, especially amongst the more religiously inclined countries in the world, the Islamic countries, Israel, certainly the Vatican and the sort of hardline Catholicism of southern Italy and the like. And the United States is kind of Judeo-Christian wash will be fine, I guess. That's why California will be like, whatever, bro. If anything, you want to see the expectation of how California would react. Look at the people who are standing on top of the tower downtown in Independence Day going, welcome, ET, we're glad to see you, before the laser killed everybody. Remember that? Okay. Because that's the assumption about Californians and how we would deal with aliens, as it were. So, and yes, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition to be a conspiracy. First, our chief weapon is surprise. Surprise and fear. And knife read you. Oh, damn. I'll come in again. So here's the problem with the conspiratorial mindset. A certain amount of dubious curiosity, very healthy, very important. But man, you throw a bit in that thing's mouth and you can be led around to just about anywhere. Yes, thank you, Ali Osher. U.S. says it has begun strikes against Iran following the crash of an Army Apache helicopter. We will get to that because this kind of feeds into this. I'll show you. Okay, let's just start right away. Because a shit ton of the conspiratorial talk now is a MAGA devouring itself. Think Charlie Kirk and the whole Erica Kirk really had him done with the military and Kash Patel and and Candace Owens, and she's flying to Russia to get talking points or whatever. And like, you look at Shitter, man, and they're just like nonstop. If there's any live people on Shitter at all, it's maggots yelling at each other about who killed Charlie Kirk, who's forcing Trump to do all this stuff. It's fucking crazy. Okay, so let me show you this real quick. So this should be an indicator right here. So this is a Tucker clip. I don't quite know who this dopey fuck is that he's got on there, but I do like the title. It's Ken Silva on why Trump was led into believing Iran was behind the Butler shooting. Woo! All right, there we go. So Trump, the reason we're attacking Iran is it's like a reboot of when George W. Bush attacked Iraq because, after all, he tried to kill my dad, right? That was there was an idea that George W. Bush took us into Iraq not because they had anything to do with 9/11, but because it was revenge for them having a plot against him post the Kuwait Operation Desert Skirmish back in the early 90s, right? Okay. Can Bill Pullman be president, please? He is a lovely guy, it seems. I've never met him, but he seems lovely. Okay, so the name of this. Okay, I gave you the description. This guy, Ken Silva, and him are talking about how the Butler shooting was arguably staged to get Trump elected and make him attack Iran. I just want you to stand there for a minute and massage your own nipples if you're enjoying this as much as I am, and understand who this is. Fucking Tucker Carlson saying this to some like Trump sniffer about Trump's dough-headed, like what's left of his brain, but his dough-headed response to the manufacture of the Butler assassination attempt as an intentional winging to get, all right, you'll see what I mean. And this is, we're just cracking the surface. Okay, there you go.
It's truly crazy what we're
It's a good opening. It's a good opening.
looking at. So here you have Trump 2 days before the Republican convention. He has not yet chosen a running mate. Everyone in up for consideration is a neocon except for JD Vance.
The irony.
Okay, so and so
by the way, JD Vance is not a neocon. He's just a passive eugenicist who wants to kill off whatever a third of the American population. Is the idea that he and Peter Thiel are in the useless eater crowd that they always warn about the WEF being. We'll get to that later, but holy shit.
And so that's when the assassination attempt takes place, before Trump has chosen a running mate.
Also, I guess there's some idea that, like, did he choose JD Vance because the non-neocon crowd was trying to control him by threatening his life? I mean, that's the problem. There's so many crossed streams in this conspiratorial fucking word salad. You can't tell which way is up.
A vice president. The second
Cross the streams.
this shooting happens, you see a bunch of high-profile endorsements of Trump. And shortly after, all of his legal problems go away. And ultimately, in very short order, Trump becomes not just a neocon, but like the leading neocon in the world.
So I think it's the Latin phrase comes to mind, "Qui bend over." Who bend overs? Who benefits in this situation? Well, clearly, according to Tucker Carlson and his newfound enlightenment, Trump was the primary beneficiary of the failed Butler attempt, so much so, and he benefited so much from it, that it couldn't have worked out better if he'd have staged it himself.
Way more of a neocon than like Bob Kagan and Bill Kristol ever were. And so you see a complete change in Trump.
Also, no, you don't. You just realize that after he gets reelected, he doesn't have to lie anymore. And he doesn't have to pretend he gives a shit.
And in official Washington's view of Trump, like people who didn't like Trump endorsed Trump after this. And then you see Trump appoint the people who effectively allowed this to happen by their incompetence at best to positions of greater authority. And then you see Trump shut down the investigation into the shooting.
Yeah, it does. It makes you think.
According to reporters,
right? Am I like what the hell?
You're exactly right. And according to reporter Susan Crabtree, I guess Sean Curran is a favorite of Susie Wiles, which I don't know why Susie Wiles would have the power to keep or promote him to be Secret Service director after he was pretty much.
But it's about Trump, though. I mean, it's like
yeah, it's almost you're almost there, asshole. You're almost there. You're almost at. This is Trump's decision, and he made it. Therefore, he is morally on the hook for everything he does. He's not being magically whispered the fucking dragon's breath spell into his ear by Netanyahu. He chose to go into Iran. He didn't fucking fall asleep in a giant bed, and then Netanyahu floats in over him like the fucking angel of blowjobs in Ghostbusters. He chose to do it because he wants to do it, because he's a loser and he needs to feel macho. It's that simple.
If you had bodyguards who were supposed to protect you with their lives if necessary, and they allowed, again, by their incompetence at best, somebody to hit you in the ear with a .223 round.
Or a piece of glass from the teleprompter because it was supposed to miss by a lot and it chipped the glass, and the piece of glass is what hit you. So they didn't allow it. It was actually, they had planned for it to miss him by a wide space, and it did. It was just there was shrapnel from something else that clipped his ear. And he got pissed about that. And it was supposed to be somebody else was supposed to die, and he was supposed to show up, get up without blood on him and go fight. But it was just more dramatic with the ketchup.
You'd say, these guys have to go. Like, you failed.
Unless
one job is to keep a sniper from shooting at me, and you failed.
Unless the guy wasn't a sniper and it was all set up from the beginning, I think is where you're going.
But instead of doing that, Trump promotes the guy?
What? Like, I mean, what?
I have no good answer for you as far.
I do. Oh, I do. They were all in it, in on it. It was staged. It was all bullshit. How about that? I'm just spitballing. I'm not saying this is what's going on. I'm just saying one possible interpretation could be that if your team helps you stage a successful fake assassination attempt, a false flag, as it were, and it works and gets you reelected, there's got to be a promotion in there for you, right? I mean, if Trump viewed getting reelected as the only thing that would effectively, quote unquote, save his life because he wouldn't go to jail or all that other shit, and he'd effectively have a new level of immunity from every other crime he'd committed, including stealing classified documents and giving them to our foreign enemies, maybe he viewed what that guy did by helping him stage a fake assassination attempt as saving his life, which is the guy's job. So therefore, now am I saying this is what happened? No, but am I saying it's certainly one plausible, option that you seem to be avoiding bringing up at all because it stinks to high heaven, and you know that it's one of only two plausible options in this situation. And because of Trump's avoidance about talking about Thomas Crooks, and don't get me started on the next wave of that, because the next wave of maggot freakout around this is coming up after this video. We're not going to do the whole thing, by the way, because there's just too much.
As far as that goes, I mean,
I'm tormented by it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's because you're stupid.
Especially considering what happened after.
What did happen after?
Where Trump gets effortlessly elected and
that's weird.
And becomes this crazed neocon.
That's weird. It's weird. He just gets effortlessly, as if maybe, I don't know, the election was like rigged, and
he becomes the one thing he said he hated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. But I mean, he also says he loves the blacks too. I mean, like at a certain point,
there's a total change in Trump.
It is.
No, I think a revealing. I think he pulled the mask off like the end of a Scooby-Doo episode. I don't know that it was a change.
Worth mentioning that Susie Wiles and Sean Curran were both involved in what I would argue like a psyop on Trump to make him think the Iranians were out to get him.
Dude. I was kind of joking about that earlier, but like, this is the if the czar only knew defense that Philip Ittner brings up about Putin all the time, is that these guys have to bullshit themselves that Trump isn't in on it, aware of it, and signed off on it fully, that he's got to be. Someone must have cast a spell on him. There's no way he could possibly believe these things by his own. Someone has to be like Rasputin, just whispering in his ears. He's trying to doze off, and he wakes up. Wait, I've got an idea. What was my idea? Yes.
And this is after the Ryan Ruth event. They actually tell Trump that the Iranians have smuggled missiles into the country and they want to shoot down your plane, which there's absolutely no evidence for that. I mean, no.
Right, but there's also no evidence that they told him that either. Right? They just evidence that this was sort of the storyline out in the public a little bit. But where he got that they told Trump they're Mr. President, they smuggled missiles into the country and they're trying to blow your, instead of Mr. President, we're telling the public that the Iranians are coming to get you, so you'll have an excuse as a predicate to do what you want to do.
No actual documentation, no witnesses, no arrests were made. If that were true, the war would have started a lot earlier.
Also, so there's no evidence of it. But the president of the United States is such a gullible tit, he can't not believe it. Why is Donald Trump more gullible with members of his staff than the average 8th grader is with ChatGPT?
But in any event, they actually put Trump on a decoy plane with,
I remember.
Yeah, they used Steve Witkoff's plane, and him, Witkoff, and Susie Wiles would ride in Witkoff's plane while the staff were serving as decoys on Trump Force One, which I'm not sure how they would feel about that.
Well, they apparently all knew it was fake anyways.
But
They had to be in on it, right? Because you only have one option here. Either Trump is a dough-headed bastard and everybody's conspiring to keep him in the dark, because if one person goes, that doesn't sound right to me, Mr. President, at the wrong time, it blows the whole fucking thing up because of how he operates, or he's in on it and it's all for show and you guys are the suckers. But that's not possible.
But I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like, if you look at the reporting on this, the staff would be going to Trump Force One and the Secret Service would be like, oh, keep your head down, like acting like a threat was out there.
Don't look out the windows on Air Force One.
Like, it really seemed like a total psyop to me. It's bizarre.
Preparatory to this war, of course, right?
Of course.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, you could make the argument that Trump was already an Iranian hawk, but
Or an Iran hawk. I mean, he talks like an Iranian hawk right now because the way he talked to Kristen Welker, it sounded like he was working for Iran, saying you were in Vietnam.
this certainly didn't help.
You can't make the argument that Trump was in favor of a regime change war with Iran, since
Sure you can.
he was explicitly against a regime change.
Oh, no. You can absolutely make the case because he's a fucking liar and everyone could see it except you dopey bastard. That's the big problem I have with this, is that this whole, like, he said he wasn't going to do this. And like, yeah, he's a liar. He also said he never met women he sexually assaulted. He also said he wasn't fraudulent in telling the IRS his buildings weren't worth shit and telling the banks they were worth twice as much when there's paperwork showing it, you dumb motherfuckers. This is so aggravating. And no, that's not Tom Fitton. We'll get to Tom Fitton in a minute. He looks more swollen.
Regime change war with
Although this guy does look like one of Tom Fitton's larvae, I understand.
Iran, like for a decade.
No.
Yeah, that's certainly what he said. Wasn't there rumors that he was about to launch a war in the last month of like his
Of the first term?
presidency? Yeah.
Well, those were
Yeah, but I didn't believe that, even though now he's doing it, because I'd have to believe if I said I believed that then, I would have been more aware that what's happening now is actually a reality instead of being able to pretend that something happened in the last 4 years that made him change into a completely different person, which makes it easier for me to not look like a complete fucking idiot.
were more than rumors that he was under a lot of pressure to do.
Oh, it's the pressure. Oh, poor guy. Wow. A lot of pressure. I wouldn't normally think that the office of the presidency comes with a lot of pressure. What would you know about pressure? Well, I have kissed a man.
To do that, but the fact is he didn't, and then he spent
Yeah.
his campaign
Lying,
in the 2024 race
lying,
arguing against regime change war,
no, lying,
attacking people who were in favor of it, and then he
so that he could manipulate the electorate.
launched it, and not just launched it, but became this kind of enthusiastic tool of the government of Israel. So, I mean, maybe
Yeah, no. Again, this is also, even that is a lie. No, he's not an enthusiastic tool of the government of Israel. He's doing this because he fucking wants to. If it benefits Netanyahu or Netanyahu's moving, playing along with it, that's just an addendum. That's the fucking sidecar. Trump went to Iran because Trump wanted to go into fucking Iran. It's not because somebody is the fucking Trump whisperer.
maybe those are all organic
Under pressure.
changes of heart, but he's never explained how or why.
That's because he didn't have a change of heart. That's fucking adorable. Or even a change of brain. He didn't change at all. He's always been a liar, and he was lying to you. And you, because I guess your ability to sniff out a conspiracy or a liar can't cop to that because it would fuck with your whatever your narrative is. So you can't say anything. You can't go, oh shit, I was a fucking idiot. I actually believed his bullshit. I saw all these examples, one after the other. Trump Steaks, Trump University, Trump Video Phone, The fucking Apprentice, which was a farce to start with. He knew the producer of the Apprentice. They knew that Trump's office was too small, stinky, and looked like shit to film anything there, so they had to make up like these sets that were allegedly his office. He can't even read a fucking blueprint.
And the demarcation, the change point, the pivot seems to be.
He didn't change or pivot. He was always lying. The only change or pivot will happen if you finally cop to the fact that you're a gullible dipshit.
The shooting.
Yeah.
Who's
yeah.
Ryan Ruth?
He's the guy who shot at him on the fucking golf course.
Ryan Ruth was the second would-be assassin, and this happened on September 15th, 2024, just over 2 months after Butler. Trump's golfing on his Palm Beach golf course.
Which is a dump.
He's on the 5th hole.
It's literally like the other side of the airport, and the smell of jet fuel on that golf course must be brutal.
Hole, and the Secret Service is doing an advance on the next hole, and an agent spots Ruth hiding in the bushes with an SKS rifle. The agent initially thinks this is a homeless guy until he sees a rifle pointing right at him. He shoots 5 times at like point blank range, about from 5 or 10 feet away. Misses all 5 times, but causes Ruth to flee. Yeah.
How do you not know this shit? Also, he doesn't hit Ruth. That doesn't mean he misses. Ruth had put up fucking hold on. Let's see. Oops. Fence. Blah, blah, blah. He put yeah. See if I can show you guys this. Yeah. So he had this is where he was sort of stationed, and he had basically like this metal plating as armor, essentially. And I think one of them got dinged where they got shot or whatever. Like this is a like a bulletproof vest plate that he had here. And then I don't know what the fuck that is, like a shovel or something. Anyways, he was firing from here. Trump never showed up, by the way. He was again a hole away, kind of like Tucker likes to be.
I like wood.
I know.
Deeper and longer.
So he didn't miss like that, like he just randomly fucking fired. He didn't strike Ruth. So yeah. Also, how do you not know this? Like, how did these assholes, like, it's Tucker Carlson's was on Fox News for years. He's had his own little Tucker Carlson network and all this stuff. He's bringing on these guests. They're talking about this shit all the time. How do you not know the basic details of this shit?
Yeah,
He missed him 5 times at close range.
And presumably the Secret Service officer had a rifle
Presumably.
too. It's not like he pulled out his pistol or anything, because he's on the advance, probably armed and ready. So,
Well, why are you saying probably? Look it the fuck up. Okay. All right. So, Secret Service fired the agent spotted Ruth hiding with an SKS rifle and fired on him. Ruth fled without firing his own weapon. Was arrested shortly after on Interstate 95. Agent confronted Ruth and backed away. The agent fired several shots in Ruth's direction. Okay, so this is the Wikipedia on this. So this would be the basic shit that we could possibly look at in this stupid. Fuck, I hate these idiots. This is so lazy. There you go. He had 2 plates up, and he had one in a bag and one in a backpack. But the idea is that you get bulletproof plates, and then he put them in these things, and then he hung them on the thing and used them as a little encampment-y thing. What is this? What is it? Why is this? It's a series, and this is his. He signed off on this one. Let's see. Ruth's been planning an attack for months. SKS rifle. Secret Service agent fired 4 rounds towards Ruth, who fled the scene and was later captured. Mia Rosalie Monreal. She had brain damage from a car crash that was caused by the traffic stop when he was stopped. Yeah, it doesn't. Incident. Ruth was aiming a rifle. Paparazzi. The position was well known as a spot frequently used by paparazzi. Farcano, seeing the rifleman, fired 4 rounds towards Ruth, then dropped his weapon and had fled in a vehicle. Okay, this is in factual profit of pretrial detention. Hold on. Trump subject of apparent assassination. Okay, this is the archive version of this. Let's go there. Trump was the subject of the club. I just want to see if they say AK style rifle. Okay, there's going to be less around here, or what the. Yeah, I don't know that they're going to say what gun the. So, all right. So, presumably doesn't work. Fuck this. Either say you know or don't, but just go, he fired him with a handgun, I guess, because he would have had a rifle, but he missed him with, he probably didn't fire at him with the, all right, this is just stupid.
So,
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, another security failure.
That you just made up in your fucking head.
Well, an embarrassing one, too.
Also, not a failure, technically, because they didn't kill the guy. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I guess he gets credit for at least not hesitating.
Yeah.
But again, the gun's pointed at him. So, but he did cause Ryan to flee, and Ryan's caught 45 minutes later in
He
another.
actually got away?
Yeah, yeah. And so this isn't
How
the.
do you not? Yes, he ran. There was a car chase. How is this?
Secret Service that caught him either, and he could have been at large. This could have been another like Tyler Robinson situation with the Kirk case, where he gets into his daughter's
Oh, you mean another fake situation?
Nissan Xterra and speeds off, and it was actually a witness who heard the gunshots and took down Ruth's license plate and gives it to the Palm Beach sheriffs, who then put.
Yeah, she saw him run across the street after the gunshots were fired, get into his car, which was parked across the street, and speed out. And she was like, who the fuck? Kind of obviously.
Put out a warning, be on the lookout
That's a bolo.
for this Xterra, and Ruth is pulled over on the I-95 in another county. And this is
No way.
Yeah.
We landed on the moon. No way.
yes, again, like he had an escape.
All right, this is fucking aggravating. All right, you guys get the point that this is just kind of everything's a conspiracy if you don't know how anything works. And the craziest part about this is how little Tucker Carlson knows about the details of this, considering it's one of the reasons why he was touting Trump as a leader at the time. Not like some, well-known Republicans were suddenly lining up behind Trump. Tucker was already there helping. Okay, so this is not the only place it's happening. The conspiracy con is spreading across all of right-wing media. Let us go now to Christina Bobb. Set you name it, what you do. Tom Fitton, to bring back to what we were talking about before, this is the Mr. Blotchy himself, had filed a Freedom of Information request about the Butler, Pennsylvania stuff because the conspiracy theorists on the right are still like, I don't know. The Biden White House must have tried to kill Trump. That must have been who was behind it. So why won't Trump look into it? I can't imagine. You know what? He needs our help. He doesn't even know. So let's file a Freedom of Information Act thing. Then we'll get the information. Then we'll share it with Trump, and he'll realize that someone in the previous administration was trying to kill him, I guess, and that something he wouldn't be interested in and is oddly not interested in. He brings up Rosie O'Donnell and shits on her more than Thomas Crooks, who died trying to kill him, allegedly. All right, here we go. Judicial Watch drops new bombshell in Thomas Crooks probe after FBI back and forth. Who runs the FBI now? Who Who picked the last two guys that have been running the?
Oh, get a load of this.
Oh, get a load of
Judicial Watch today posting a new report based on the documents it received from the Justice Department, bringing new light to the details in the
Yeah, this doesn't look like wrestling bullshit at all.
attempted assassination of President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, 2024. I'm going to go all through all this in a sec, but this report.
Very exciting. Yeah. So get ready. Get out your notebook cards and some red string. Get ready to tie all this shit together.
Was an update to a post on Friday issued by Judicial Watch based on those heavily redacted files they got from the FBI that you're seeing on your screen right now. Okay, this is
Wow, these are white redactions. Stephen Miller make these, or
following their Freedom of Information Act lawsuit requesting files on what happened in Butler because we still don't have many answers.
gee, that's weird. Considering the guy who, had an attempt on his life is actually the president right now. You'd think they would be like, and again, this is the most transparent administration in history.
Judicial Watch, along with basically most people across social media and the internet, came to the same conclusion that according to these documents, it appeared that Crooks had been in contact with a Butler County sheriff prior to the assassination attempt, which the
Was it just phone sex, or did he?
FBI is now saying that's not the case. And this is where it gets really weird.
Right. This is where it gets really weird. This is the point. All right.
The FBI's Rapid Response X account replying,
I'm sorry. That's awesome. Oh, Tom Fitton. This must be heartbreaking. This, by the way, this is all maggot on maggot. I'm just telling you, hit that like, share the show, if you would, because I feel like I'm alone out here letting people know about this going. Like, there's still a wall of people who think that there's a bunch of people that support Trump no matter what he does and all this. And I'm just here to tell you, no, that's not what's happening at all.
this is clickbait lie, Judicial Watch, which is now nothing more than the fake news media.
Is this yours?
Important to note that Judicial Watch is not a media organization.
Yeah, I don't think they give a fuck. It's nothing more than the fake news media. I think this is just an allegorical tying to another villain to hopefully draw attention away from the bullshit story behind the Butler shooting. And, of course, the Epstein files. This sounds a lot like their attitude towards people who are still asking questions about Epstein, including Charlie Kirk, right after that memo came out last year.
It's a legal group of lawyers. It's a nonprofit, and they have historically been one of Trump's most ardent legal defenders since day one. It went
Yeah, gosh, it's almost like the true believers are the first against the wall in the revolution, I guess.
on. From the Rapid Response account, the unredacted documents are interviews of Thomas Crooks by college instructors, not cops, wherein those instructors reference to having emailed Thomas Crooks about coursework. They make no reference to
Look at the all caps and stuff. This seems to be like, I think the people at the White House just don't know how to not write like Trump. They've been faking his truth sinkhole posts for so long.
the contact between Thomas Crooks and any police department. Then FBI Director Kash Patel sharing the post on
This is towards Tom Fitton. This is towards Judicial Watch. This is Kash Patel shitting on Judicial Watch. Ugh. You know what? In these difficult times, you got to find sources of joy wherever you can.
post on X saying facts over clickbait. But now both Judicial Watch, stay with me here. I know this gets weedy.
Yeah, it's not weeding. I just don't know how you're managing to make a conspiracy of this magnitude boring.
Both Judicial Watch and Patel's posts were both community noted, demonstrating how messy and unclear this has been.
Well, I mean, maggots are all over the map on shitter. They're almost the only people there at this point.
The accusations of lying also didn't sit well with Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton, who we have on this show sometimes, who
Oh yeah, So maybe that's what they meant by the fake news, because you're on a fake news channel. Just because you're on Newsmax.
Posted yesterday that Kash Patel would promote this malicious, false, and juvenile FBI post is disturbing.
I'm trying not to. It hurts. It hurts because I'm trying not to enjoy this too much.
Judicial Watch fairly interpreted, heavily redacted documents produced.
Uh-oh. You can't just drop that stuff.
Yeah. If they ask, I forgot it.
You ain't seen nothing.
Yeah. We ain't seen nothing. Black bar from my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this.
Understand. Hey, it's the most transparent administration in history. I mean, I don't know what you're complaining about there. What is this guy's name again? We see him occasionally. I keep forgetting. He's another Newsmax balloon head guy. Carl Higbee. That's right. Carl Higbee Sellers. Branded.
Produced by the FBI and DOJ after waiting nearly 2
He has health problems.
years and litigating it, to call me and Judicial Watch liars for doing so based on secret material which you have withheld from us, and the court is beneath contempt.
Oh, God. So good. So just in case you're joining us, Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch via Carl Higbee Sellers, Brandon, is calling Kash Patel beneath contempt. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I sleep be too.
Fitton asking the FBI to send Judicial Watch any unredacted documents so they can update it based on what they're saying. Calling on Patel to apologize, delete the tweets, and immediately release the other.
Sorry, if you have unredacted documents to share with us in this lawsuit, we will happily review and update our analysis. In the meantime, as government officials, you have a responsibility to apologize to me. Apologize, God damn it, and to our supporters, not just to me. You owe me an apology, okay? And to delete your tweets, and immediately release the other 75,000 pages on the Butler assassination that the FBI is still hiding. Oh, get in line, sister. Oh, yeah. Sorry. All of us with our Epstein binder to be filled are standing in line going, take a number, will you? Back in the line.
75,000 pages that they didn't get to see. Keep in mind, Fitton is investigating Biden's FBI. Nobody's investigating Patel.
Yeah, they are, I guess. So it wasn't, Biden's FBI didn't have any part in it. Kash Patel's FBI has a part in a ongoing cover-up of the real details of what happened. If anything, the Biden, FBI technically didn't have, still Chris Wray, still Trump's appointee, but they wouldn't have had time to go through the process of this further investigation in theory. They weren't the ones that hid it as soon as Trump got in office.
As I just said on the last block, our government has a responsibility.
I think the FOIA would have been a lot easier if Harris had won the election, is what I'm saying.
Responsibility to maintain trust with the public. That trust comes apart when they hide things and overlook.
It's, you know what? It's about trust and whether we can trust anybody anymore. And I don't know that we can after all that we have been through. And we're going to come out here and they're going to tell us one thing or another that this... Where are we? Carl Higbee Sellers, Brandon. If we can't trust the federal government, how far have we fallen? And how much more does Tom Fitton and Carl Higbee Sellers, Brandon, have to dig to realize that they're digging in a litter box?
Overly redact certain things. Judicial Watch attorney and author of Defiant Inside Mar-a-Lago Raid and the Left's Ongoing Lawfare, Christina Bobb.
Wait, she's going to tell us. Okay, thank God. She's got a big smile on her face. So obviously she's going to help us out.
All right, what is going on here?
What the hell?
Well, that's a great question. And I so appreciate your monologue because we were kind of scratching our heads at Judicial Watch going, Why is Kash Patel attacking us? We're trying.
Huh. Gee, it's almost like he was literally put in place to act as a buffer against people looking any further into the hinky shit that Trump is up to. That's odd. Because he's the way about the Epstein files too. It's just funny that way.
Trying to expose what happened in Butler. And one, they're withholding the documents.
Well, that would be the problem. See, then why would Donald Trump and the people around him want what happened in Butler to be hidden from the public? How many answers to that question are there legitimately? 2?
The first place, 75,000 records, and they've turned over about 24, maybe 25 documents that are heavily redacted.
It's a joke. Kash Patel's a joke.
Right. And we fairly interpreted them. If you look through the community notes, as you noted, as well as Grok interpreted the same way that we did.
Yeah.
And
that's because you used Grok to do it, because you don't know what you're doing.
it's almost like the FBI expected us to be able to see through the redactions and know what was behind.
That's right. You got to be able to see through the redactions.
Yeah. If they ask, I forgot it. You ain't seen nothing. Yeah. We ain't saying nothing. Black bar from my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch this. If it looks too wild on the axis, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. Redact this. Blood and face, can't fact check the madness. Throwing out page from the bad habits atlas. If the story get messy in the ad-libs, highlight, right click, boom, redact this. I was young, I was dumb, I was scrolling. Type way too much, hit send, heart swollen. Now I keep receipts like a lawyer with a folder. But anything risky, get hit with the toner. Whole group chat, got tails, I ain't claim. If my name pop up, that's a typo, blame. Who's that in the pic, man, that ain't go strange. That's a random stranger with a very close face. On the stand of my friends, I plead don't recall. If they ask for the tape, it's a missing file. If they pull up the clip, that's deep fake style. If they show me the proof, I just smile like redact this. Black ball over my past, can't track this. Screenshots cropped out, can't catch
you get the point.
But obviously we couldn't. So, I think the easy answer here would have...
That looks like the Epstein files. What do you...
Don't say it. Don't. Why would you bring it up? Yes, both. The most redacted files in since the fucking Warren Commission. And both of them happened under Trump about shit he was directly involved with. At what point is lightning going to strike these dumb motherfuckers in the head? When?
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we even doing here? If I had to jump ball in a situation, I would say covering up a fake assassination attempt meant to manipulate the electoral, public, the election in general, and help somebody get elected. And then on the Epstein side, hiding a 27-year relationship that Donald Trump had with Jeffrey Epstein, where he was not just a co-conspirator with him, but a fellow traveler as well, who often bragged about wanting to fuck his own daughter and buried his ex-wife, literally the mother of that daughter, on a golf course with no fucking headstone. So I don't know. I'm just saying he sounds like a shitty guy. Yeah.
I mean, I think the easy answer would have been...
Look at fucking Carl's face. I'm never not going to enjoy this.
And to say, we understand why it looked that way. We're going to release more that have less redactions and it will become clear. Just sit tight.
Totally. Hang out. It's going to happen any day now. 2 weeks. I'm giving them 2 weeks.
But instead to come and attack us. And just for the viewers that don't know, Judicial Watch is the group that discovered that Hillary Clinton had a secret email server.
Yeah, she didn't have a secret email server. She had a private email server that wasn't a secret. It was just not generally publicly known, but it wasn't a secret. They didn't try to hide the fact that they had their own server. As a matter of fact, I have my own server. A lot of people do. If you've got one of those things that, like, the movies that aren't available on Netflix or on Apple TV, but you have on DVD, but you want to you rip them and put them on a hard drive that's accessible throughout the house via the Wi-Fi. That's a server. I have one of those. I have a media server in my house with movies that I have that weren't it was the only way I could watch Vibes with Jeff Goldblum and Cyndi Lauper for the longest time. And even still, it only shows up occasionally on, I think, Amazon Prime or something.
Yes.
So a lot of our reports have been incredibly favorable to the president. So
Yes, you are a propaganda network. The problem is that you were doing it credulously. You were doing it under the impression, I don't know how anybody is this stupid, that Trump was a truth teller and that you were on the side of some level of reality. Instead of, you're just a conduit for lies.
So we were kind of scratching our heads going, what's going on here? So it was weird for us
I'm going to go with screwworm.
too.
I know it's just so weird. But today, also, Tom Fitton announced that Judicial Watch had updated the press release, focusing on the revelation that the SWAT officer, and this is according to your guys' reporting, based on those FOIAs, that the SWAT officer recovered a, quote, gray remote device with an antenna from which would-be assassin Thomas Crook.
Which, by the way, sounds like something out of a Magnum PI episode for a remote detonator. Literally, like a little gray box with an antenna on it with a red flip-up switch.
Pocket after he was killed, and that the Butler County emergency responder who was on the roof where Crooks' body was being examined was told to evacuate the roof. Because of that, it was like a canine got a, quote, hit on the building. What is this?
It's suspicious.
Yeah, it's almost like everybody was in on it, and Donald Trump doesn't give a shit. And as a matter of fact, if you try to look into who was in on it, then somehow he gets personally offended and sends people out to attack you directly, which is totally sane. God damn, this is stupid. Like, there is only one answer to the questions you guys are posing, which is, this was all Trump. Like, otherwise, they're just embarrassed by it, or what's the other reason? Except for it was staged and Trump wanted this to help himself get elected, just like Putin was suggesting to Orban, that probably Putin suggested this to Trump. Like, hey, we'll help you make it happen. We'll even hook you up with somebody you can kill.
What it is. I don't know. I can infer the same things that you can infer, which is why would they clear out that officer? Why, was there actually a hit? If there was a hit, was there an explosive device? It raises so many more questions.
Yeah, just don't ask them.
Than answers, and they're not releasing the documents. So as they said in their tweet, they said the unredacted versions say, XYZ, but they haven't produced those.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird. You know what, Carl? I take it back. This is just like the Epstein files.
So all we can do is take their word at it, and they're not giving us a lot of information.
I don't understand the secrecy around it. Like the guy.
I do. It was all fake, and Trump was in on the staging of it. I mean, this is just me spitballing on the evidence that you're giving me.
I try to take
and my obvious, awareness of and bias towards the players that are involved.
I feel like Trump would be like, yeah, get this stuff out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would, didn't it? That's what I would feel too. You did, you might be like, hey, if it was me and I didn't plan it in an attempt to help myself get elected, I might be interested in finding out of it. But if I was basically Fat Bob Roberts.
Yeah.
Have a nice day, but I don't know. You guys and Tom Fitton over there, you guys do some great work. So
yeah, great work. Just stop it before it costs you everything.
Do not be dissuaded by, we'll call this a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Why would you call it a misunderstanding? They told you to go fuck yourself.
Yes. Thank you, Carl.
All right.
Jesus. Like, this is, I don't know how they can just continue to bullshit themselves about any of this. Now, this is kind of tangentially related, the next one. But if you ask Jimmy Dork and dweeb Alex Jones, they'll tell you that the establishment / deep state / Illuminati / Rothschild / Jews in general that run everything are, I guess, forcing the good people like Trump to not do the right thing when they totally wanna. they totally were gonna, but they can't. So this might get the attention of people in charge. And this seems to be a Seth Rich reference, because I think that's a picture of him. DC murder mysteries, slain DNC staffer was WikiLeaks source, say investigators, WikiLeaks, U.S. attack, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is, I mean, they both have been on the Seth Rich tit before, but we'll see. Hold on.
You know, the last time
Also, hit the like, share the show, etc., etc.
that the establishment was
The establishment, drink.
this unresponsive to its citizens, George Washington picked up a gun and started shooting people.
Well, that's right.
No, it isn't. By the way, governments have been, I mean, of course, these assholes can't bring up Tiananmen Square or Russia for the last fucking, I don't know, 8 decades.
And I'm not advocating violence,
Yeah, you are.
obviously. And
I don't know that that's obvious. I don't know that that's obvious at all.
but what we need to do, and the truckers in Canada during COVID laid a template for this, which is
What? The fact that they could block streets because of the nature of their job, something other striking workers cannot do, that they kept people from getting to the hospital by blocking roads and shit like that because they didn't want to get fucking vaccinated to truck into the United States during a fucking pandemic.
why they overreacted to them so hard, because
They didn't overreact to them. They did not. They were getting paid from outside the country for these protests. Canada can do whatever the fuck they want. They are not the United States. They do not have the same freedom of speech rights. As a matter of fact, they acted well comfortably within their rights.
because they knew they didn't want them, just like when Joe Biden crushed that railroad strike. They had to do that because that would have showed everybody the power of workers.
What the fuck? Joe Biden was the first person to actually stand on a picket line. First president to stand on an actual picket line. The fucking Amtrak strike? Are you shitting me? Like, this motherfucker cares about Amtrak?
Yeah.
Because the railroad is the backbone of capitalism.
No, it's not. What is this, 1941?
And if you shut that down, it shuts down and the oligarchs get hurt, right?
No, it doesn't. It just makes all the Uber guys rich in the DC, New York area for a month. The people that struck on the train strike, on average, make over $160,000 a year. They make at least double the national average. And who the fuck at a car plant or a Starbucks or teachers go, well, if the train guys can do it, I can do it. And if they can't, what chance do I have? What the fuck are you talking about?
And so they had to stop that. They made it illegal for them to go on strike. And so what I said is that after Thomas.
Oh God, hold on one second. He's talking about the railroad labor dispute. Let's go there. Here we go. 1 second. This would be the Time magazine. This is what he's talking about. Hold on. DC brief. Times. Want to know why Washington was about the real strike? Typically reliable union champions like Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi successfully rallied rank and file. Democrats decide with railroad execs over the workers. Blah, blah, blah. You read that correctly. This is time.com. Biden decided the broader economy was a bigger priority than 100,000 freight rail workers having any paid sick leave in their next contract. After campaigning as the most pro-union president candidate in history, Biden signed into law. Hold on. This is Philip Elliott. Okay, yeah. So here we go. Like the auto and Wall Street bailouts, the railroad worker order is likely to be an unpopular move, but ultimately one that defines the Biden legacy. That's the way they were selling this. House Wednesday, here it is. The House on Wednesday passed a bill that would force management and labor to accept a White House negotiated deal that 8 of the 12 unions at the table had already agreed to. 8 of the 12 unions at the table. The remaining 4, however, represent more than half of the nation's unionized freight rail workers, who, by the way, again, make over $160,000 a year. On Thursday, under pressure from the White House and Wall Street alike, the poorer ones, by the way, the people who work on the other 8 the other 8 unions, were the people who actually work on the trains, on the commuter trains. Biden was in the Roosevelt Room of the White House to sign a deal that leveraged the government's power to keep workers on the job if they are linked to interstate commerce. I know it was tough for members of both parties. It was tough for me. For sure, there were sacrifices. The companion proposal would have introduced sick leave for workers, was cleaved from the package and died in the Senate. Another blow to union members. We're going to avoid the rail strike, keep the rails running, keep things moving. And I'm going to go back and we're going to get paid leave, not just for rail workers, but for all workers, Biden said on a news conference on Thursday. With Republicans set to take control of the House come January and Washington's urgent must-do list of fewer and fewer hours ahead of the holiday recess, it's not entirely clear how Biden might get any federal guarantee of paid time off through Congress. Because this was the goal if we had Democrats in office. Again, the public thought, yes, please, more of that. It's why it died in the Senate.
Thomas Massey is that we need to have, what if all the railroad workers just didn't show up for work for
this is the Jimmy Dore suggesting that everybody should, we should have a big worker strike. Everybody should just not show up for work. Teachers, walk off, port workers, railroad workers, you guys, he's not going to take a day off from his fucking show and his $2 million house in the Hollywood Hills, the millionaire Marxist, will keep talking about how amazing it's going while getting ad rev from Google and paid advertisements and all that kind of stuff, sponsors and the like. That'll never stop. His gravy train never stops.
For a week or so. What if the port workers didn't show up? What if all the
people who actually do shit for a living? What if you guys should strike? Do that. You guys show them who's boss.
Drivers didn't show up, and then they went and they occupied Wall Street, which is why.
Tucker Carlson's for Occupy Wall Street now. Can these motherfuckers just not?
Occupy Wall Street scared the hell out of them.
Yes.
And because that was the left and the right. So you had the Tea Party upset about the banks. You had the left progressives upset about the banks.
And neither of them did shit.
They had a common interest, because that's the thing they don't want you to know, is that we actually have a common interest. They want you to.
Also, that's exactly what Trump ran on, was this kind of populist idea. That's what Bernie ran on, was populism. What does that mean? What is populism? It's running on the common interests and ignoring all the peripheral stuff as fluff or social noise. While, by the way, oftentimes patting your own fucking, feathering your own nest.
To keep turning against your neighbor like your neighbor's the problem.
Exactly.
And your neighbor's
your neighbor, just because they want to take away gay marriage and gay adoption and make women no longer have the right to vote and eliminate their right to choose and all that stuff. They're not your enemy. You're both being screwed because you pay a mortgage.
It's not your problem, because your neighbor is suffering under the same oligarchy that you're suffering.
No, they're not. They're not suffering under it. There's a difference. There's not 2 fucking classes in the country. There's like 6. And a good, and 4 of them have a fucking foot in both streams. That's why there isn't going to be an uprising like this. That's why it's more complicated. That's why the railroad workers are arguing over a package deal that would give them $180,000 a year on top of federal worker level benefits in a way that even FAA flight controllers don't necessarily get. And certainly not the same way Amazon workers would negotiate a deal versus teachers or anybody else. Fucking hell.
Freak under.
You know what? Workers are workers to a fucking millionaire. That's the thing. They're all just a fucking blur. They're just like, to Jimmy and to Tucker, it's just them and an audience. Everybody's just a fucking gray blur of in their main character syndrome world.
Exactly.
And they don't want you to realize that you have shared interests and that we can work on the other stuff later.
Also, by the way, Democrats run on shared interests. That's why Biden passed an infrastructure act. That's what the fucking vaccinations were about. That's the shared interest part. Getting everybody vaccinated in the face of a pandemic is a shared interest. That's the exact message that everybody was trying to get across. This motherfucker thinks the jab was there to just, it's the new fluoride in the water.
Later, but we got to come together to stop these WEF globalist billionaires.
Oh my God. The establishment globalist billionaire WEF Illuminati, blah, blah, blah. It's when you make the monster so big, it's like Godzilla. So that you don't think you can do anything about it. Like, what the fuck can you and I do on an individual level about the WEF's existence? And why would we? If they want to meet what in another country, what are we going to do? Bomb Davos? What's the idea? For real. What are you even fucking talking about? Do you purchase and does it affect your purchasing power what the WEF says is a good investment versus not? Are you for climate, environmental policy that protects the climate because the WEF tells you so, or because they don't tell you? Are you against it because they do?
Billionaires that actually run and dictate our lives. And so that's what I'm saying is that
they also don't. Notice how they dictate everybody's lives with this motherfucker. This is the same thing Jim Brewer does. Everybody's a fucking dope. Nobody understands anything except them because they can see through it. Him and fucking Alex Jones.
Need to have, for all the grocery store workers, all the UPS, all the Amazon. If a couple of them did it together, it would show the power of the workers that we actually can take. And you have to have a protest. When you have a protest.
Okay, that's the other thing. It's always somebody else. It's always the working person who's barely holding on to the job that they have, or they have multiple jobs that are supposed to go do all the fucking pickup work. If these people would just go out and show the powers that be, you are the powers that be, you dumb motherfucker. You this is it. He and Tucker sell fucking whatever Zen fucking pouches and prepper food and whatever from the warm side of a bay window in their studio garages in their multi-million-dollar houses. You are the establishment. You are part of the messaging of the establishment. You are, if anything, if there is a group, if there was a Rothschilds level group that wanted to guarantee people didn't rise up, it would be making them feel paralyzed at the idea that it's so insurmountable. It's the Illuminati, Rothschilds, WEF, establishment, everybody. And the only way we can push back on it, instead of just fucking voting with some consistency, is if all the workers in the world rise up, except us, of course. We can sit there and watch it, look at them doing, the let them eat cake crowd can walk off the fucking job, get fired in a right to work state. It's always somebody else.
Protest, you have to have a demand. So that's why those No Kings marches, right, or protests, those are psyops.
Oh my fucking God. Because the people that are there are saying, don't allow the president to be a monarchy, and are effectively, the No Kings rallies are about calling on Congress and the rest of the electorate when it comes to voting, that the goal is to get them to do their goddamn job and not hand over all their power. We don't have kings. That's the whole purpose of that. By the way, that is the demand of the No Kings rally. It seems, as somebody who went to one of those, and certainly not as a Fed or a paid fucking operative, but because I genuinely believe in democracy over monarchy.
Of course. How do you know they're a psyop? Because there's no demand.
Yes, there is. There's a demand that Congress and arguably the SCOTUS as well as the electorate show the president that he is not a monarch, that all three of our co-equal branches start acting like it again. You could tell that Jimmy Dore's show is a psyop because he doesn't give a fuck about that. If that happened, if we had a functioning government, he wouldn't have a fucking show anymore. Without crisis and depravity, he's never going to write another fucking joke. He doesn't write them now. He steals them from dead people or just complains on stage. There are no punchlines. It's not funny. It's just a bunch of clapter and people being mad. But it's not stand-up. You just have a fucking rally and call it that. What makes you're no different than Trump in this regard.
You have to have a demand, a concrete demand. And so...
No, you don't. The Women's March was a psyop because women saw a bunch of their rights being taken away, and they wanted to stand up and say, we're not going to back down. That would be the idea. Show that you're there. What was the concrete demand of the civil rights marches? Just eating at lunch counters? Just riding on buses in the front? Do you think they would have been satisfied with that? Well, we got that thing. We checked it off the list.
If the workers shut down, if the railroad
Always somebody else.
workers, port workers, truck drivers, if they shut down, they have a demand. Demand is no outside money in elections. We have publicly funded elections.
Sorry. So dock workers and Amazon workers and Starbucks workers and teachers and I suppose everybody on Amtrak should protest for publicly funded elections because that should be the reason they march, not for their own contracts, which is what they've been doing.
We have an election cycle that's 6 weeks instead of 2 years, and you can't have corporate money. You can't have any of that stuff. It has to be publicly funded. And people say, who's going to pay for that? Well, it costs us trillions of dollars every year because we have corporations funding our elections. It would save.
Again, what do you mean by cost us? What he means is that people are stupid, and if you see enough ads, you're just going to vote for a person because you're dumb. And that's, again, if there's an elite and an us and them, he's the elite. So is Tucker.
Save us trillions of dollars, and we'd have a more responsive democracy if we had publicly funded elections. So that would.
Right. But why would all the workers in the country rise up as a group and not just the citizenry? Why wouldn't I would argue, add that to the list of things that maybe No Kings would be about. If that's your, if you think that'd be a part of it, but then you would have to participate in it, which you don't. I do. I've been there.
That would be my demand.
You don't march though, so fuck you. And you live in the hills.
That's so you got to have a protest, you got to have a demand. And when you see a protest without a demand, that's how you know it's a psyop. That's how you know it's to bring people back in.
Sorry. Also, is Pride a protest or is it simply a march? Is every march a protest? I would argue that if you're standing up for your rights, you're technically protesting the potential for those rights to be taken away. So I guess Pride is worthless unless people have a direct demand.
Back into the two-party duopoly and hating each other.
Seems like if you're going to...
Oh, man. This is, by the way, Tucker Carlson is pretending to like Jimmy Dore. Look at the body language. He just knows that Jimmy, like Anna Kasparian, will be a useful idiot for him now that they all share the Jews bad side of the beach, I guess.
Try to compel someone to do something he doesn't want to do. You have to do something he really doesn't want you to do. So like the Occupy Wall Street, which I, especially in retrospect, we needed that. But
fuck you. You were against it. You mocked it nonstop. What do you mean in retrospect? Then apologize to everybody who was for it at the time that you vilified on your channel.
The tactic was like, have a protest. They don't care about your protest. What they do care about is money. Why has no one ever organized millions of Americans to say stop paying their credit card bills or stop paying their student loans? Why are people paying student loans? I don't understand that.
Okay. First of all, this asshole was against the student loan forgiveness that Biden was trying to do. So fuck you that you're trying to like get people out from under their student loans now. And Jimmy was against it because it wasn't enough. So better to have nothing than, if either everything or nothing. These are our options. And if you can't get everything because you don't have the votes for it, then better to let those people suffer because Jimmy Dore doesn't have any fucking student debt and neither does this rich asshole.
It seems like that might get the attention of the people in charge.
Yeah. But you don't mean you, and you don't have any student. Neither one of these assholes have any debt. If there's no credit card for them to stop paying tomorrow. Here's a good idea. Why don't you do this? How about you sell your house? Or how about this? Mortgage your fucking house, Tucker Carlson and Jimmy Dore. Mortgage your fucking houses. Take out all the equity you can get in your house right now. Mortgage that, give it away to charity, and then stop paying the mortgage payment as a fuck you to the bank. If you're going to ask other people to do it, fuck this dude. I mean, this dude is worth tens of millions of dollars. So is Jimmy. He's worth whatever. What's his net worth? At least 10? He certainly doesn't spend it on doing anything with his life. Fuck this.
Yeah, well, that certainly would. And you know how they,
Well, then, like I said, then fucking do it. Do it. Make a big show of it. I took out every dime I could on my multi-million-dollar house in the Hollywood fucking hills. It's a $2.2 million house. I could take $1 million loan out. So I took that $1 million loan out and I gave it to the workers. I gave it to a union or a charity. I gave it to the teachers union to help them out. And I'm not going to pay for it as a fuck you to show the banks and everybody join me. Jesus Christ. That gamer guy, are you saying that to me or somebody else? You've never read the Bible. I've read it twice. These guys haven't.
Michael Parenti, who died recently, and he was a real friend of the working man, and he said, the oligarchs.
Yeah, what was his job?
They don't care about if
Who's a friend of the working man. Another way to say he was not a working man.
you have health care. They don't care about if you can afford a house. They don't care if you have to go bankrupt getting an education. The only thing they actually do care about is what you think. That's actually what they care about.
That's smart.
And
No, it isn't. It's fucking trite. Especially if a guy sells ideas. That's what a fucking author wants you to think. And again, if you have a house and some relative comfort, the rest of the time, these motherfuckers will tell you that they basically nullify and soften the rage of the public by allowing them to have distractions, right? That's the other one. As long as you can go out to eat and you have enough, you won't rise up because you'll have just enough to keep you happy, right? That's the other side of the story. But at the same time, they're like, they don't care if you have a house, they don't care if you have an education or healthcare or any of these kind of things, because they just care about what you think. Well, if you had those things, presumably they would care what you think because they would want you to appreciate those things and not throw them out the window. They assume you will. If you think, oh shit, these guys are taking all my stuff, I'm going to rise up and kill them, that might concern them, I guess, is the idea. But what if you're just a Christian like he pretends to be? And you're like, look, my fate on this planet is not anybody's responsibility but my own. If the fortunes do not favor me and I am not meant to be rich, the Lord has another path for me. Right? So are they the ones promoting the faux Christianity of Tucker Carlson to do that?
And that's why they spend all this money on propaganda. That's why they own the media. That's why
They own the media. Normally they say owns the media.
Constantly keep you propagandized. And the best propaganda is the stuff you don't realize that is a propaganda. You just
Right, like your show and his show. Right. What appears to be less like propaganda than stuff going, everything else is propaganda except me.
internalize it, and you think that's just the way things are. So that's
They care what you think. That's so interesting.
That's the only
It's nonsense.
thing they care about.
That's a
Because-
deep.
No, they don't. They care what you do. They care what you do. You can sit and fucking stew all you want. Until you put those thoughts into action, they don't care. If you're showing up for work and doing all your kind of shit and whatever, and you're like, I hate this. Who gives a shit? If you snap and go nuts like Timothy McVeigh, that's why they look back at what you were thinking that led up to it and go, oh shit, this guy was thinking some gnarly stuff. That's when they care about what you were thinking, when they go, how did this happen?
Deep insight. Because sometimes it feels like they don't care what you think, but of course
Because Tucker Carlson says the opposite when Jimmy's not
they
there.
do. Because the propaganda is just relentless.
Yeah. And Michael, if anybody, you could go watch his speeches on YouTube. They're all over the place, and he's got a great sense of humor. And he was
Yeah, there's another guy Jimmy steals jokes from.
But Noam Chomsky, people pretend he is,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, he was the real deal. He was. You know how
What
you
a
can.
fraud.
You know how you could tell that.
Hey, and by the way, now's the moment where all of a sudden, it's not surprising that Tucker Carlson hates Noam Chomsky, but the fact that this asshole was like pinning his entire career on what a great guy Noam Chomsky was for a long time. And now that you find out Noam Chomsky, wrote a book called Manufacturing Consent while he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, who was in the process of, wait for it, manufacturing consent.
So Michael Parenti got kicked out of academia, right, in the 70s, and he couldn't get a job, and he was blacklisted. He was because he spoke up against the Vietnam War, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's how you know he's the real deal. Noam Chomsky.
Hold on one second. Uh-huh. Let's see. He was progressively pushed out of academia in the early 70s due to his outspoken anti-capitalist views, anti-imperialist activism, and refusal to conform to ideological orthodoxies. See, according to this, in 1970, Parenti's teaching position was derailed after he was clubbed by police while protesting the Vietnam War and shootings at Kent State University, leading to his ouster. This was from progressive.org. Hold on, let me show this up. Okay. University of Vermont. After relocating to the University of Vermont, the department voted unanimously to renew his teaching contract in late 1971. However, conservative state legislators and the board of trustees intervened, voting to let his contract expire and citing unprofessional conduct. The blackballing. Following these altercations and his subsequent court convictions for protesting, Parenti was unable to secure another permanent, non-temporary teaching position. He frequently detailed how board of trustees and academic administrators blacklisted him for his anti-business attitudes and leftist ideology. So he was free radical. Remembering Michael Parenti. This is from Progressive Magazine. So it's just weird to me that there are a lot of people who protested the Vietnam War who are still teaching now. Died January at 92, blazed a long, brave trail. Arguably one of the most influential thinkers, writers on the U.S. left this past half century. Parenti stands out as uniquely courageous and unapologetic in directly confronting capitalism, U.S. imperialism, and manifold corruptions and inequities of society's powerful. Where many liberal writers bemoan corporations and the rich, Parenti educated generations, including this writer, about capitalism's fundamental contradictions and intrinsic forces of inequality, harm, and destruction, such as, this is his obituary. Yeah, in 70, his career as professor was derailed when he was clubbed by police while protesting the shootings of students at Kent State, leading to his ouster from the University of Illinois Urbana. His soon resettled the University of Vermont, which booted him. Okay, so he was kicked out. Okay, does that seem weird to everybody? Was derailed when he was clubbed by police while protesting the shootings of students at Kent State. So, I mean, how many people get fired for being clubbed? I understand, like, being there or whatever, they were against you doing stuff. Let's see. I mean, seemingly, God bless this guy for trying to do, the good work and believing what he said. He was serving as an associate professor during the demonstration. State troopers severely clubbed Parenti, leaving him injured and detained in jail for 2 days. He was charged with aggravated battery against a state trooper, resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. These legal troubles, associated political fallout, led to his ouster. The university who subsequently took a teaching position. I mean, I don't know that there are images or video, because of the time of him, when he was clubbed by the state troopers. But the idea is that, did he pick the fight? Did they finish it and all that kind of shit? Or is that how the teachers at the University of Illinois, or did they just kick everybody out who protested the Vietnam War and Kent State? Which I find weird about believing about a University of Illinois or Urbana-Champaign, because they weren't necessarily known as some sort of like conservative hotspot. If anybody has any information on that part of it, again, was he spending more time doing that than teaching, and that's where it ran around? I mean, it's fine, because you could think of it like, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing if a teacher's like, look, I'm supposed to be teaching a class right now, but the Vietnam War is terrible, and the shooting at Kent State was awful, therefore I find I have more important things to do. I have to be out here protesting. If I'm teaching my students anything, I'm teaching by my actions. And therefore, if it costs me my job, fine. Right? That's what the sacrifice calls for when you do it yourself. And so in that regard, Parenti, I would argue, is a hero and lived up to his beliefs, even if, he, had like disdain for the regular work that he was hired to do, because the importance of what was currently going on meant something to him. So he went down and did it. And I don't know that when he went down to those protests, he had a specific goal. I'm sure the end of the Vietnam War might have been that one, but in terms of Kent State, what that was, as opposed to just protest the shooting and the behavior, and hopefully that won't lead to more of it. But Jimmy wouldn't have been down there, is my point.
Chomsky had a job forever at MIT.
No.
No problem, and his job was never threatened, and so he was what what Chomsky taught me, that
Yeah, but your job's not threatened either. Neither is Tucker's. Tucker, I mean, you could argue that Tucker was the trade-off just because he was the highest paid, and they could replace him with Jesse Waters and do the same fucking job for less money. It was an economic decision by Fox to kick Tucker to the curb.
There's the Overton window. There's as far left as you can go, right? So they'll have on people on the cable news shows that talk about war. It's never, hey, we shouldn't have a war. It's always,
yes. Nobody, I haven't seen anybody on the news that says, hey, we shouldn't have a war. Except most people, especially on CNN and the like, what the fuck are we doing in Iran? Why did we start this? Sorry, this asshole thinks that nobody's on the news going, we shouldn't be at war with these countries. Everybody during the beginning of the Iraq War, especially in Afghanistan, was like just a cheerleader, one after the other. Nobody was cautioning against this, except a lot of people.
I was like, well, how much war should we have? And and you have those discussions. And so Chomsky was there.
No, not exactly. That's a lie. That is just a lie. I don't remember Adam Mockler being on CNN last week going, I understand we got to have some war, but in Iran, but what are we doing there? Right now, I just don't like it because I have TDS.
There to go, you can't go any farther than him. So if you go farther left than him, then you're a crazy nut. You're a conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
And he was the one.
This is a conspiracy theory. There is no end. Like they're like, if you're wackier than Noam Chomsky, you're insane. Like, when did anybody ever say that?
Who said who cares?
I mean, this is all made up. This is just a fiction to make yourself more important.
Killed President Kennedy. That's what Chomsky said.
Yeah.
Who cared? Who cares? Who cares who overthrew our government? Who did a coup on our government?
By the way, plenty of people have been on the news in a lot of arenas going, I still have questions about JFK and the killing of him, who really did it and all that. There was a whole movie made and nobody's like, Chomsky buys it so everybody else can shut the fuck up. Sit down, Oliver Stone.
Who cares? That's a CIA talking about. Same thing. He just repeated back that 9/11 happened exactly the way George Bush said it did to Dick Cheney, who, by the way, when they were asked about it, testified in secret behind closed doors, not under oath, and together. So,
which Trump's people are doing right now. Also, what are you laughing about? You bought it. He sold that shit.
So
again, who is Tucker Carlson laughing at? But Tucker Carlson of 2002.
Chomsky said he affirmed the official story of 9/11.
Yeah. So that's why you should. I advocate.
That's our radical.
That's our radical. And I always tell people, what woke me up to it was like, I'm not an engineer, but I saw Building 7.
Oh, bullshit.
First of all, it was broadcast 20 minutes that had fallen down by BBC before it ever fell. They go, it fell. And
no, it didn't.
And then you're like, wait a minute, this building that wasn't hit by a plane hit a building 200 yards away from it.
Very far away, yeah.
And then it fell into its own footprint, out of sympathy for the other.
No. If you see the back part of it, it was on fire the entire time. A big chunk of what was blown out of the building landed over there, and it was burning as long as the other two.
Buildings? Like what?
Because you only watched it from one angle. This is so stupid.
And so that's when I knew something was up. And
Yeah, I know, because you don't look. It's everything's a conspiracy if you don't know how anything works. Like I don't. I think there's an argument that Guard was let down, and that if anybody, Dick Cheney would be the kind of person who would allow things to happen. Kind of what people believe to some degree about Pearl Harbor, for example. It was gonna, like, they just found out and they're like, let it happen. Like right before, those kind of things. There's a possibility that the Cheneys of the world are the kind of people who would allow that shit to happen. The idea that they fucking pulled the buildings and all that kind of stuff and set up this whole thing is just fucking stupid. And especially around Building 7. Hold on one second. Go. This is the side. Hold on, I know there's a better shot of it, but this is the other side of Building 7 because shit fell off one of the. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. Shit fell off the building and hit Building 7 on that side. When you see the building pancake into itself, like everybody says, which is faster than free fall, which it fucking isn't. You don't see the fact that the back of it was completely caved in by shit that fell off from the top from one of the buildings when it was hit. What he's talking about, like I saw the video of it falling on itself and it wasn't touched by anything else. All that shit, you saw it from the other side. People watch this shit all the time. It's so fucking dumb. You can believe conspiracy theories about this shit, but don't keep believing the ones that are obviously disproven. It makes you look like you want to. Ugh. Hold on. There's the let's see if I can find there's another yeah, here you go. This is another shot of it as well. This is another shot of the other side of it. This is when you're watching Building 7 from the other side, you could barely even see the smoke was sort of covered by the rest of the building. This is when everybody saw it fall, they saw it from the other side of the building, which looks almost perfectly fine. But the rest of it is bashed in on this side, including the support structure in this area. It wasn't fucking magic. It's just goddamn physics. It's so fucking lazy. And again, you can believe whatever the fuck you want about whether or not Bush was behind it and whether they arranged for it and made it happen and whatever. But the building itself fell because it was struck by other shit. It was burning. Here you go. You could see, yeah. And let's see if I can show you yeah. On the north side of the building, which is the part that if you're watching it when you watched it fall down, you could see the fires. The reason, it's when it fell, you don't see it below this part. Like you see, there's buildings in front of it from the angle that most people watched. But on the bottom floors, there were fires burning from the other side where it was hit all the way through. Fucking, I just just go look. There was plenty of video and film that day.
And when I started my first comedy podcast in 2007 with Todd Glass and my wife Steph, and
Todd did the comedy.
I talked about that, and people are like, Jimmy Doe's a crazy conspiracy theorist. I'm like, what?
No, I don't. By the way, I don't think you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. I don't. I think you like selling the idea of being a conspiracy theorist because I think you know there's an audience for it. I just think you're stupid. This is not about whether or not you believe something, that nobody else has got the guts to believe. That's what you're selling. The reality is that you allow gaps in your understanding of something to remain. You have no-go zones in information, because if they fuck up your understanding of a circumstance that no longer allows you to sell it as a conspiracy, you're done. You can't sell it anymore.
What? And then even people like Rosie O'Donnell would bring it up on The View. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
Yeah, she was like Building 7, and I'm like, I know I'm onto something, right?
Yes, another rich person who saw one angle of it. Is she still on Building 7? No, because more than likely she's probably seen the other footage since then.
And so, whenever you're not allowed to question something, that's when you know they're up to something.
Oh my God. How many channels are on YouTube that you can question shit? Since when have you not been able to ask questions? I'm dead serious. This is the Tucker Carlson defense of all times. This is where the conspiracy part of it just aggravates the fuck out of me. This motherfucker is always selling I'm just asking the Jewish question. I'm just asking a question, right? That's what he always pushes. Right? I'm just asking questions. Well, if you never listen to the fucking answers, I guess you can do that forever. It's like a self-perpetuating info war machine. You can ask about anything. And here's another thing for our maggot friends in there. By the way, hit the like, share the show. If you're a maggot, please give me a thumbs down or write something silly about whatever. In the chat, it gives it's lovely. It gives us a boost in the algorithm. All the folks who are people got kicked off of Twitter for just asking questions about vaccines. No, they did not. Nobody ever got kicked off of Shitter for asking questions about vaccines. Find one who just asked questions or said, I'm worried about this. I don't know if I should do this. I am immune compromised and I think my doctor's concerned about vaccines before, blah, 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 right? None of them. Nobody. The only people got kicked off were people who pretended they knew, who pretended to be doctors, who were selling fucking horse paste for, antiparasitics to fight a lung infection. Those people got kicked off. If you stated shit that was an absolute lie and you were in a position of authority that might lead people to, Twitter had every right to go, you're forwarding false information that can get people killed. But they weren't just asking questions. And you don't get to what's wrong with taking this stuff? And then posting a link to buy ivermectin that you get money from. You wrong. Nope. Nobody ever got kicked off for just asking questions. They all got kicked off for asserting shit. Go find them. Go find the things that got them kicked off. Go look at the last 10 fucking tweets they posted right before they got kicked to the curb or given a timeout, honestly. Was it just I don't know, guys, are vaccines okay? Can somebody please tell me? The fuck out of here. And even in the Tucker Carlson, the coward question, which he always posts, which is, I'm not implying something. I'm doing it by asking a question. So I am allowing for the inference therein. I'm asking a leading question. Is the effect of a push poll? Ugh. Right. Put a light bulb up your ass and get a bang out of life. That was the Trump solution. Right. Yeah, Twitter had to put up a disclosure because of it. Yeah, well, all of it's in there. Again, if people have if they're, first of all, I'm sorry, but your First Amendment rights cannot be violated because you were kicked off a private social media company's platform. They can set their terms of service and they can kick you off at any time. That's why I'm on all these different services, which, by the way, you should subscribe. I'm just kind of telling you right now that you should probably subscribe because I'm on. If you're watching on Facebook, remember, give me an angry emoji or a thumbs down. If you're watching on any of the YouTube ones, please state something or whatever. It helps in the algorithm or whatever. But either way, subscribe wherever you are, and I'll bring the show to you guys rather than rely on just one outlet because I don't trust them. Why would I? Why would I put all my eggs in one basket on Twitch or on YouTube or on Facebook or any of them if that could be taken away? Because I don't own the place. We are only here by the fact that these things exist. If they went down because of shit that they just changed ownership or whatever, and that went away, or they all of a sudden just went down because they were hacked or whatever, I don't have a lawsuit against them. I'm here, but I'm using these services effectively for free. Right? So the idea that you have free speech in a private venue that these people create, even if it's virtual, is just stupid. Nobody's denying you. Free speech does not guarantee you a microphone or distribution, for fuck's sake. It just doesn't. And quite frankly, maggots, those of you who think that it's a violation of your free speech to get kicked off of Facebook or Twitter back in the day, to you, I say, shut the fuck up, commie. These are private industries. You have no right to be there. That's why they can have terms of service in the first fucking place. If you don't like it, go form your own Ning and pay for it. Form your own fucking phone tree. Thank you for liking the videos and all that kind of stuff. I know Jennifer. Yes, Jennifer, he is dumb with a B. This is true. Apparently, for those of you who don't know, Trump recently found out that the word dumb has a B in it and is shocked to find this out. Jerry says, they can't handle the truth. Fred Bear says, I'm bald, can't pull the wool over your eyes. Well, I mean, you could have a knit cap like Tim Drool has. And Caroline says, outdoor shows. I'm not against it. We could do it to some of the No Kings if they had them. That's not a bad idea. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have the right to be on anybody's platform. You don't have the right to walk into a fucking lobby of a business and with a megaphone and start talking about your day and showing pictures of your lunch like it's the new Instagram because it's their private property. I don't know why these guys don't see that part of it. That's always odd. But then Trump wants to buy a state, be a state stakeholder in a bunch of companies, Intel, the AI companies, which is, in the past, they'd call straight up communism on the right. Do you all know that dumb has a B in it? I don't think they do. I mean, I think my audience does, but I think the maggots in general, it's a shock to them. They were just as surprised to find out that Lincoln was a Republican back in the day. Of course, this was before the Dixiecrats, the Southern Democrats, became Republicans, and the parties basically switched monikers over the Civil Rights Act. How about a rooftop show? Clearwater Florida has an outdoor space. I like it. I'm for it. Who's behind the medical $2.99 kits? People are going to start taking things for stuff they don't have. Like your hypochondriacal MAGA sister. Yeah, there's a bunch of this. I mean, look at the stuff that Glenn Beck is selling, for example. Speaking of which, I've only got a couple minutes left, so I want to actually do this, whatever. Apparently, Glenn's getting into the AI thumbnails as well. Because apparently the stock market rises over because things are too good.
Dow gave up 695 points on Friday.
Yeah, but those were false points from when they went up artificially when Trump lied about there being a deal weeks ago.
S&P dropped 2.6. NASDAQ, where all the tech and AI money lives, fell
not all of it.
4.2. Ugliest day in more than a year. By the closing bell, roughly $1 trillion just went poof. Okay. All right. Bitcoin went right along with it. Okay.
Yeah, but Bitcoin's really a trash currency just used by human traffickers and child predators and gun runners and drug smugglers. So fuck them and fuck Bitcoin.
Worst week since February. I think it was down like $62,000 for a coin.
Also, by the way, Bitcoin has been taking a shit ever since Eric and Don Jr. got into the business of Bitcoin last August. You can actually track the collapse of Bitcoin over the last 8 months from directly them purchasing a bunch of Bitcoin.
And people were saying to me, Glenn, wait, hang on. How come this? Because didn't we have good numbers? Yes. All of this happened on a good jobs report. Employers, here's the good news. Employers added 172,000 jobs in May. That's more than double the 80,000 that the so-called experts forecast. Okay.
Yes, we talked about this during Biden a couple of times. Sometimes those numbers stick, and sometimes they get revised upward or downward. This is a normal part of this. It's why it doesn't affect the market that much. And also, the more people that are being employed, the lower the return on stocks that people expect in terms of dividends. So they tend to stocks go down when hiring is good. This has been around for a long time.
Okay. Unemployment, I think, is still at 4.3%, held even. By every plain English measure, Americans are working, things are good. Okay, so why did the market panic on news that you and I would call encouraging more people?
Well, because that was only one factor, and obviously the ongoing Iran war and the diminishing oil reserves that are happening in China and other countries that somehow magically they built up before this war started. Those have started to go down, and we're no closer to an end to this. And Trump keeps lying.
More people are working. Sit with me for a second because I'm about to show you the whole game. For 2 years, Wall Street has been betting on one thing above all else. Well, you might say it's AI, but it's not. It's deeper than that. It's the Federal Reserve about to make money cheap again. And they love cheap money.
He means lowering the interest rate. And that's because they assume that Trump coming into office and then forcing the Fed and eventually inflation going down, which of course it didn't. Thanks, Trump. That would make the interest rate go down. And it would be cheaper to borrow money. And there would be a flood of money into the investment world. And so it's just a matter of time.
You cut the interest rates, borrowing becomes easier, companies look more valuable on paper, the sky-high AI stocks just keep climbing because people will borrow more money in big business.
Which is what Trump wants and thinks would be best for the entire economy. Like you're saying this like, oh, this is dumb. You're describing Trump's economic plan.
They'll buy it cheaply and then they'll buy more stocks and that just keeps... So the entire rally was leaning on the assumption that
prices would go down because Trump said he was going to cut energy costs and the cost of groceries in half, and they actually believed it.
Money's going to become cheap again, and that was kind of like leaning on. Have you ever leaned on a door where you thought was closed or unlocked and you fell through? It was kind of like that on Friday. Okay, jobs numbers come out, they come hot. And the door swings wide open and everybody falls on the ground because a strong economy with lots of jobs, rising prices, Fed can't cut interest rates, means no cheap money, means, AI better start producing. Okay. Inflation hit 3.8% in April. That is the highest in nearly 3 years. It's all driven by the energy spike from the war in Iran, which will...
No, it's also driven by Trump's bullshit tariffs as well.
Get to in a little while. So the rate cuts that Wall Street had penciled in, they're like, we're going to be able to borrow more money at a 0% interest. And we're going to get so rich. And
that's what Trump is saying, literally to Glenn.
Now Goldman Sachs comes out and says, I don't think that's going to happen.
Right, because why would they?
First, let me tell you about real...
Oh, fuck you. Meanwhile, get a fucking mortgage.
Traders were betting that, they were going to...
That Trump would manipulate the market artificially.
Get cheap money. Now they get a rate hike.
16 Tone Studio says AI would start producing what? What he means is productivity gains, which it already is. But he just means whatever the output for that stuff is going to be in the future.
and they all fall through the door.
Which is not expected for at least 3 to 5 years.
And the AI trade was already cracking before any of that. Okay, days earlier, Broadcom, one of the companies that selling picks and shovels for this whole AI gold rush, turned in strong numbers, but refused to raise its outlook for the year. That was the first whisper of what's going on. If all of this spending isn't ramping up as fast as all the hype has promised, what's going to happen? So to feel the size underneath of this, Google's parent company is out right now trying to raise just a measly $85 billion. And we just need to build some additional AI machinery. It's just $85 billion. It's no big. $85 billion. And that expects the stock market to go, you're going to pay that off perfectly. It's only $85 billion.
It's $1 trillion company. And the $85 billion is how they offset what they pay their executives.
No big deal. And we're fine with AI. Okay. So understand what actually happened here.
It's the same. They do the same shuffle that Elon Musk does.
It wasn't the good news that scared everybody Friday. It was the truth that the Fed is not riding in to rescue the overpriced stocks. And maybe, just maybe, the AI miracle has a price tag attached to it that somebody should check before buying stock. Okay.
This is not economic news or whatever advice.
You may not own a share of NVIDIA, but this affected you. That 401k or pension that you're counting on rides on the market. And days like Friday took a big bite out of it.
Also, it's NVIDIA. And also, NVIDIA is the hardware side of it. They're not in trouble. It's the software side of things that can change on a dime.
Also, you want a mortgage on the house. The 10-year is now above 4.5%. The rates are punishing. It's going to stay that way. Your grocery bill, your gas, your rent, inflation is at 3.8, means they're not coming down soon. And a Fed that has to say,
excuse me, are you calling Donald Trump a liar?
Tough on the prices.
I mean, he is.
On the price inflation and is going to. That means.
Do you think Glenn Beck was planning on making this video last year or when Trump got elected?
It's going to be tough for a while. And small business, if you're a business owner, you need a loan to expand or just to make payroll. Tightening screws coming your way. And that's
so golden era. Okay.
That's the truth about it. That's how it affects you. Forget about everything else. That's how this affects you. America's strength, however, has never come from cheap money or get-rich-quick fevers. It never has. Pain always comes from that. Always. Where America has always.
And by the way, you can listen to him when he tells you, because he's in a fake living room with a bunch of cowboy hats he doesn't actually wear, and a bunch of like prop Western house shit that he bought at Filene's basement that he has in his tricked out garage. At least I have the decency to just use a green screen and a joke background because I'm fucking around. Hold on. Go back to here. Yeah. Like I just made this. I made this with Gemini, actually. You can see the little thing in the corner. And I left it there because I think it's hilarious. But this is just my workbench behind here. If this asshole sent a bunch of people down to Filene's basement and prop stores to make him a little playground so that he can look like he lives the Western life. Shit.
Rallied, done well, and fixed herself is when people who make things, fix things, grow things, show up and are encouraged to do what they do best. A strong jobs
struggle
report. It's genuinely good. It means your neighbor is working. But what you have to understand, the sickness isn't jobs. The sickness is an economy that holds its breath while waiting on a handful of central bankers and $1 trillion wager on machines. They're counting on the game that you and I keep getting screwed by.
Also, why the fuck would you get screwed by it if you don't have AI stocks and it just falls? And it's not like it's going to go away. What if you just buy the dip when it takes a shit and then it climbs back up a little bit and you make a little bit of money, like when you feel left behind, right?
So don't hang your hope on the Fed or on Washington or the next shiny thing the market is chasing.
Hang it on Trump because he knows what he's doing. Art of the deal, baby.
Hang it where it belongs. You.
Oh, fuck you, man. This is the same thing when he goes for when he starts talking about like religion because he's fucked up on all the political things. He's been so wrong so long that he's just got that. I mean, what is it? What else is he going to do? The Lord will, you know what? Jesus, take the wheel. The Lord's in charge. I'll leave you with this because we're right at the tail of the show. Hit the like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. We'll go on this. Trump denies being booed at the Madison Square Garden Knicks game. Here's what the video shows.
I did not, no.
What did you think of the reception you got from the Knicks fans tonight?
I thought great. I mean, I thought it was amazing, actually. You mean when they had the camera on me? I thought it was very good, yeah. It was certainly amazing. It was. I think, mostly cheers. It was loud and it was very enthusiastic.
Yes, it was a loud, enthusiastic booing.
Lights last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous.
Ouch. Yeah, look at Kai Trump, bless her heart, right behind him. Like, she's his granddaughter. She hears it. Look at her face. Look at Trump's face. He's like, well, just pretend. Also, by the way, I apologize. I should have warned you ahead of time. But damn. This is rough. Oh, shit. They're literally going, like, just in case you thought boo sounds like yay. God damn. Welcome to being the man. And then, beg your pardon, this was him after he left. This was when he said that same thing. Also, we're well into his sundowning hours, so don't expect much. He's starting to wander. Woo! You gotta slap that leg, make it walk in a straight line.
What do you think of the game, Mr. President?
That was a big arc.
Hello, everybody. Well, the game was fantastic. Well played by both teams. We all had a lot of fun. It was great to watch. Very talented players. We have ongoing negotiations in Iran and with Iran.
In and with and around. They're also not in Iran at all.
That hasn't stopped.
They're, I guess in Pakistan and by a carrier pigeon.
And we could have at least an idea by 1 or 2 days from now. But
we should have, I feel so much better. At least an idea by 1 or 2 days from now. That sounds like the art of the deal, doesn't it, maggots? Let's play that again.
Iran and with Iran, that hasn't stopped. And we could have at least an idea by 1 or 2 days from now. But I think
we could have at least an idea by 1 or 2 days from now.
I think it's going well.
It's not. If it was going well at all, you wouldn't be going, I think we'll have at least an idea within a couple of days. At least an idea?
The blockade continues to hold 100%.
Yeah. Not a single civilian ship without guns has made it past our military. It's incredible.
Nothing is getting through our blockade. No oil, no income, no nothing. Nothing's getting through the blockade. We have our great Secretary of the Interior, and we have Lee
And he's, by the way, he's doing the late, he's starting to slobber because it's late in the day.
Zeldin, as you know, environment and...
Yes, you took both of them to a basketball game. You know, work.
You might give them a little update on what we're doing with a few different things as long as we're here with
Yeah, what do you do again?
News. With the media. Yeah, being very nice tonight. The media.
Because you couldn't remember fake news?
In California, I hear they speeded the process up a little bit.
Yes, and Pratt lost quicker.
They had a good result. One good result out of two. Doug, would you like to say a couple of words?
Well, I would just say on the Middle East, President Trump has all the leverage, and I'm confident we're going to come out of this with a great deal. In terms of getting...
Based on what? The whole, I think we'll have an idea of something in a couple of days.
Ready for the spectacular celebration of our amazing country, our 250th, with President Trump's safe and beautiful in D.C. What's been accomplished, want to give a shout out to everybody that works for the National Park, the U.S. Park Police, but, you know, cleaning up dozens and dozens of monuments, dozens of fountains back working again, the reflecting pool, which you've all known is...
Yeah, fuck mortgage rates and the price of beef.
Near completion. It's going to be ready before the UFC event at the end of this week. So
yeah, the next. What's up after that? Do they have just a bunch of? They're going to put a trailer park in.
Everything's going great on that front. The city's never looked better, and President Trump, I think you've said you've called them love letters. You've got more love letters on about the fountains and the beauty of this.
Yeah, it's almost like you've got people in charge of not letting anything that might upset you reach your desk.
City than ever before, but how fitting as we go into our 250th.
So they just have like a kiss-ass book that they put on his desk so he can flip.
The President Trump personally getting involved in making sure that our capital reflects the greatness of our country, because it's not decline is a choice, and President Trump has shown a blueprint for every American city, every mayor in this country that's got a large metro.
Yes, they should all shellac their pools.
It's got a homeless problem, it's got a graffiti problem, it's got a crime problem. He's
just round up the homeless and shove them someplace.
Laid out a blueprint of how you
move them to the next state over.
Solve that, and that's the real lesson here.
Well, and I have to tell you that the main thing is there's very little crime now in D.C. It was a crime haven a year and a half ago. Very little crime.
Well, most of it's just in the White House now.
Soon, I think it'll be almost no crime whatsoever. So I want to thank really the National Guard, the D.C. Police. We work very closely with them, and they do as we ask. And they've been terrific, really terrific. And we have very, very little...
Yeah, they continue to do their job like they've been doing their job.
Little crime. Also, Memphis... And if you look at New Orleans in Louisiana, they're down 77%.
It's just stuck that way? So they got that stuck like 30%?
Memphis is down 74%.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, Cliff Schecter's going to be on the show in the morning, and Philip will be with us as well. And, of course, he's in Kyiv, and they're getting hit really hard.
And I would say D.C. is down 95%.
Yeah, just say it. Also, you know what's down 95%? The amount of makeup that you put on that goes past your temporal lobe, right? Like this business right here, which is stunningly gray and pallid. That's not good.
DC has become very safe and very beautiful. The grass is new, much of the grass. You know, grass has a life just like...
Yeah, thank God he's talking about grass finally.
A human being has a life.
You know, I was like, some people worried about the debt that they've taken on, or they're worried about, their job security, or even, our relationship with other countries and our position in the world and all that kind of. But thank God the grass in D.C. is okay.
And it hadn't been changed in 100 years. But you see, there's nobody sleeping on the beautiful parks. The wire and fences are all taken down. And D.C. is very safe, and it's also become very beautiful.
Most police states can look that way.
Reflective lake, as we call it, beautiful reflective lake. I mean, it's like a mirror, and that's filling up now, still filling up. and the work, and we increased the scope quite a bit. We've taken care of now all of the
sidewalks,
and everything around the lake, because we have to bring it into the same shape. And a lot of it's granite. We sandblasted. It looks beautiful. And we had
this is the same shit he said the other day about
22.
Like he's just on autopilot.
Different fountains, all of which didn't work for 40 or 50 years.
Nonsense.
They were loaded up with graffiti, and because of the
loaded up, they were just full of graffiti. So they were just graffiti fountains, just like words and letters came out of tagging. Everything looked like a fountain of it was like if you made a fountain out of the movie Beat Street.
Department of Interior, working with me and some other people that are into it. We want to beautify. We have one of the most beautiful
this is what they're doing to keep you busy and keep you from fucking with other stuff. I don't care.
Capitals in the world, and doing a really good job. So of the 22, not one of them worked for 40 or 50 years.
Gibberish.
Now every one of the 22 worked, and I think we have a couple of more to go, don't we?
We're doing ribbon cuttings almost every other day, and fabulous to see all these coming back online. But what's most exciting is to see how much the people that live in Washington, D.C. and visit Washington, D.C. love coming to a safe and beautiful city. And I think it really reflects what we're celebrating here at our 250 is not just gratitude for the past and respect for all that's gone.
This is part of his muscle memory of statements he makes at these ribbon cuttings.
Before us, but it's inspiration for the future. People come and see what America can be.
You know, it's a little bit just sitting here and talking or standing here and talking to you. And we have a lot of respect for a lot of the people before me. I know some of you very well. But take a look at that plane. See that plane?
Oh, boy.
That's in perfect mint condition. Take a look at that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
Why they hosed it down?
And everything should look that way. We work with the military. We do a real job.
He's just getting caught by shiny surfaces.
If you look at the polish, look at the way everything is beautiful. And that's the way we want D.C. And some people would laugh or smile at it, but there's nothing to smile at.
You're right. There's nothing to smile at.
So D.C.'s become...
Yeah, don't smile at it.
...really safe and really, really beautiful. And we have some great things planned, like the promenade. We've got a promenade at the Lincoln Museum, at Lincoln, and you have to see this.
The Lincoln Memorial?
This will be one of the most beautiful things, the Lincoln Memorial.
There he goes. He finally got the word out. There you go. It's a little late in the day. He almost said Lincoln Museum.
Is going to be unbelievable. It was supposed to front on the Potomac.
It is going to be unbelievable.
And they built 2 highways behind it. And we're taking care of that by bridging over the highways. It's going to be beautiful what they're doing there. So we have some really, and the Ark will be maybe the greatest thing. I think the ballroom, but a combination of the ballroom and the Ark will be the 2 greatest projects of them all. So we've got a lot of exciting things happening.
Operation Turd Polish.
Getting back to other things like jobs numbers, we have record jobs. We have more people working in the United States today than at any time in the history of our country.
And it's static unemployment rate.
And you see the numbers on the stock exchange. We had just today 73 records. We have 73 new highs. So out of my short 1.5 years.
Yeah, we had an equivalent under Biden as well. You're alive during the time that AI is jumping up. You've also had an equal number of drops too. And today was like the worst one in 3 years.
We have
yesterday, I think.
We've had 73 brand new highs on the various stock exchanges, and that's a record. Nobody's ever had anything like that. And that's during a military conflict. So, pretty amazing. And even the...
Gee, it's almost like military conflicts can be a moneymaker.
Oil and gas. It's lower during a military conflict than it was during the Biden administration.
Yeah, that's because we were getting back from COVID, but it's still going up.
And they didn't have that because to them it was okay that Iran has a nuclear weapon. And I say it's not okay.
No, they were the ones. I mean, Biden with Obama secured the first deal that he tore up.
The B-2 bombers did a big job and a great job, and we have got that in very good control. They will not have a nuclear weapon. Okay, could I ask Lee? He's done an incredible job, as you know. The environment is good, and he's approving more.
Yes, nothing says you're smart about the environment like standing near the exhaust of a jet airplane yammering.
Plans than any human being, I think, has ever approved anywhere in the world. We have more factories going up, car plants, AI plants. We have about $18 trillion being invested in the United States, which is a record by far. There's never been anything like it.
It's also fiction.
Many times more than the
Yeah, it's amazing how much you could do when you just make it up.
last administration. I won't get into the numbers. The numbers are astronomical. But in the history of the world, there has never been a country that's had $18 trillion invested in it.
Yeah, and we still haven't.
That's in 11 months. The last administration had much less than $1 trillion over a period of 4 years. We have $18 trillion in 11 months. We haven't gotten the final numbers on the 12th month, which will be very good. Lee, do you want to say something?
Sure. Well, you know, the Spurs, they have some good players. Wembanyama, Castle did well tonight, but
Also, Trump doesn't give a shit. He slept through most of it. This is the price of oil. Which, by the way, let's see if we can do the 10-year. Here's 2020. It was kind of around here, and then bing, it went straight up to here because this was the world coming back online. Effectively, this was when everybody finally got it vaccinated and the world started normalizing, and then it started coming down again, as it did all during Biden. Yeah, it was all coming down, all during Biden, and then bing.
I'm still going with the Knicks. I think that they're going to pull it off. And Mr. President, it was awesome to be able to spend the night with you. The energy was amazing. Jim Dolan was a great host. But this Knicks team, I mean, OG Anunoby was fantastic. Jalen Brunson's Mr. Clutch. They have great heart.
Trump has no idea who he's talking about.
So I'm feeling good about how that series is going.
How many games?
I'm going Knicks in 5. I feel like it's a resilient, strong team.
He knew every player.
They're going to come out for Game 4, and they are going to deliver.
Game in San Antonio?
Oh, I don't know. We're busy with a lot of important stuff right now at EPA.
Like a war?
Sorry, there's a war at EPA?
There's a lot of important stuff going on, but...
Sorry, what the fuck does EPA have to do with the war?
I happen to be in New York. We were just in Binghamton earlier today, where we believe that we should build a new...
We believe?
Constitution pipeline to deliver natural gas from Pennsylvania to New England. We believe...
Shouldn't that be Department of the Interior?
That New York should reverse its ban on the extraction of natural gas.
We're getting held up by the governor of New York. She made a deal with us to allow us to build it, and she's holding it up. And Connecticut is suffering, and all of New England is suffering, and
Yes, you can tell the suffering in Connecticut that's been going on since before gas was a thing.
New York is really suffering, and this is a pipeline that goes very substantially underground that nobody's going to see, and the people of New England...
Yeah. Like, you know, like the water table.
England and others are paying among the highest prices anywhere in the world, frankly. If you look at throughout the world.
No.
Because you can't get, because we have a governor that just doesn't allow it. This has gone on for a long time. And we made a deal with her, and she broke the deal. We made a deal. We're going to give her a couple of windmills someplace because she likes windmills, which is a big mistake. And we made the deal. So I guess we're withdrawing those windmills, but she gave us 2, one going out to Long Island, which is now under construction, and one going to New England. And the big one going to New England, the people in New England are paying a fortune for energy because of the fact that New York, for decades, has stopped the pipeline. So we made a deal with the governor, and she broke the deal.
Then you didn't have a deal.
New York, did you see Mayor Mamdani at the game?
I did not, no.
What did you think of the reception you got from the Knicks fans tonight?
I thought it great. I mean, I thought it was amazing, actually. You mean when they had the camera on me? I thought it was very good, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're in a glass dome.
It was
a fishbowl.
Certainly amazing. It was.
Yeah, it was loud.
It was, I think, mostly cheers. It was.
No, not at all.
It was loud and it was very enthusiastic.
Mr. President, ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith was talking about running for president. said he would blame you if the Knicks lost the game. How do you respond to that?
I think he's a nice guy, but you need a certain aptitude to run for president.
Like you can't be black, according to
You
Trump.
need a high IQ. I'm not sure
Right. All black people have low IQs. That's another thing he
that
believes.
Stephen has that. I don't think he does, actually.
Mr. President, what did you say to Prime Minister Netanyahu when you spoke to him?
We had a very good conversation, and he was hit, and he hit back. And I can't blame him for that, but he was hit. He hit back, and now they've called it quits, so they're going to...
Yeah, it's totally fine. Actually, I guess we got to do one last thing on our way out the door. Here we go. Here you go.
Fox News alert the U.S. military conducting new strikes in Iran. Quote,
which, you know what I mean? That means the deal's even closer.
U.S. Central Command forces began launching self-defense strikes against Iran.
Self-defense strikes? Self-defense strikes.
At 5 p.m. Eastern today at the Commander-in-Chief's direction in response to yesterday's downing of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter. The mission is a proportional response to unjustified Iranian aggression.
Right. So we are proportionally sending more unjustified American aggression their way just so they know how it feels.
So, Dana Perino. Oh, we have Jennifer. Let's go to Jennifer.
Hi, Jesse. Well, we've just gotten word that based on that CENTCOM statement, we had extended this. The president had indicated that he must respond given that there were two
I mean, what choice does he have?
Americans in that Apache helicopter that had to be rescued at sea earlier today. So we were expecting this. But what's interesting from the statement that CENTCOM just put out is that it described these as defensive strikes, and they said that
which is hilarious.
They would be proportional. So what we're looking at right now, there are some indications. There's some.
We're going to do shoot down one helicopter and call it a day.
Explosions in a.
They don't even have an Air Force anymore. Remember?
Port city called Sirik.
We're gonna kill some dude with a pinwheel hat on.
We're getting the initial reports of.
You thought it was Susan Powder.
Ongoing strikes from the Iranians themselves. The Iranian foreign minister earlier today had warned that if the U.S. escalated, there would be a very, very big response. The foreign ministry had been putting out statements suggesting that maybe the Iranians had not put any.
It's like two guys having a who has the tiniest dick contest.
Drones up in the air over the Strait of Hormuz in the last 24 hours. But we know from U.S. defense officials that they saw multiple drones fired by the Iranians over the Strait of Hormuz, and that one of those drones, in fact, hit the Apache helicopter, which was flying low to the water when it was struck. But the Apache itself was hit by one of those Shahed drones. The two crew members.
That's just embarrassing. Those things are loud.
Who were rescued.
But then so is a helicopter. So
are safe right now. They are.
Yeah, that would actually be good, Doug, if it was Susan Powder. She could say, "Stop the insanity." Never has that phrase been more valuable. I think it's time to call her out of. Maybe she should run for office.
Stable, but what is notable is that they were rescued by this autonomous drone, this surface vessel. It's the first time that a Corsair is a 24-foot sea drone. It was sent to rescue these two crewmen who were in the water for 2 hours.
Yeah, it just had jet ski. It just had skis attached to the back of it, and a little thing. They just,
that was the quickest,
right out of Delta Force 3,
and safest way to rescue those two airmen who went down with the Apache helicopter. But it made history in terms of the rescue.
By the way, this is the ad video for this sea drone.
Because this
buy yours today.
Corsair, which is made by the company Saronic, and it's the first time we've ever heard that it's been used for this kind of rescue, and no other military has this kind of a vessel. It's really an extraordinary vessel because it can carry a 1,000-pound payload. It can go.
Wow, it's almost like someone put a remote control on the controls of a boat. How in the world are they able to do that? What will they think of next?
1,000 nautical miles.
It's incredible. It's almost like without people on board, you can use the weight of what the people would be to put fuel on board. How in the world is this possible?
And now we know it can rescue.
Does it think for itself?
Airmen who are out at sea. So this is.
Fuck me.
We'll bring you more when we
It's like a giant version of those boats they have in Central Park you can play
know
with.
more. But the CENTCOM said.
Sir, we got both soldiers. Excellent. Are they out of the water? Yes, they're completely out of harm's way. What's the problem? I need 2 more tokens to get them home.
CENTCOM said that these strikes started about 28 minutes ago. They are ongoing. They are not complete. And there are indications that there are
Ongoing, incomplete defensive strikes. I feel a deal. I feel it.
multiple KC-135 refueling planes that are flying over the Middle East right now. That would suggest that there are a large number of war planes that would require refueling over that area. Jesse.
Jennifer, thank you so much. This comes on the heels of that amazing other rescue mission that we had a couple months ago when those 2 fighter jet pilots went down. And we barreled right into the heart of the beast and got them out. And just another great.
No, we didn't. They went down in a mountainous region. They had to hang out for 2 fucking days.
Great precision, right?
They walked to where they were picked up.
And it is interesting that it was done by
So interesting.
unmanned vehicle. That is significant. And
Yeah, that's amazing. You mean a remote control
what
vehicle?
an achievement, I think, also for the United States military. I think the ceasefire has been fake all along, but we've been super tolerant. But President Trump said, if you do this, I will hit you back. And that's how strong leaders lead. It's like, okay, well, here you go.
And they went, okay, fuck you. And then
You asked
he's
for it.
being really wussified.
Right? And I don't know if that gets anybody back to the negotiating table.
Yeah. You know, Jesse, we wouldn't have to rescue people if we didn't fucking attack Iran. Exactly, Mutant 21.
I think that the ceasefire is kaput for now.
The president the other day.
Wow, that's some hard-hitting news. Thanks.
They said, Greg, a ceasefire in this part of the world is when they shoot at each other kind of moderately.
Right. Yeah. It's. I
Thank
think
you so much,
nobody was
Marty.
taking it seriously.
Or
I
maybe,
think this
beg your pardon. I thought I was reading
autonomous drone rescue is pretty much of a big deal. I mean, that's the
Finally, thank you, Greg. Thank you. Really, just I sorry. Can you tap the brakes on the testosterone though? Pretty much of a big deal, man.
the only, I guess, upside to war is these new breakthroughs. But it has a 1,000.
The only upside. And you call yourself an American.
1,000-pound payload. That's basically like 5 airmen or 3 cast members of The View. So I worked all the way to get to that joke.
Yeah, and so sad to arrive at it and it not be a joke.
But I do feel like this war, and this is on me. It's not on the. It's like I feel like it's the show Survivor, where it just keeps going on and on. What series are we on now? Maybe 20 years ago, I wouldn't be this impatient or this jaded. I don't know what happened, but it feels like we have such a short. Maybe it's healthy. We have just a short fuse for this stuff, and I think the Russia-Ukraine war kind of just like that thing's been going on for almost 5 years now, 4.5 years, that we've kind of just like started to treat war like something in the background.
Okay, first of all, fuckwad. The Russia-Ukraine war isn't our war. We're helping Ukraine, but we're not in it. Our soldiers aren't there. They're not dying. We're not sending in fucking people and getting them killed the way Trump is. We don't have 50,000 troops in Ukraine the way we do in the Middle East. We're not blockading the areas around Russia. It's not the same fucking thing. And if you're waiting for wars and rumors of wars to actually happen for biblical reasons, I got news for you. It's been happening the whole fucking time.
Which is not really good.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily this operation.
Wow, it's dynamic. Have you ever thought of working in television, maybe speaking for a living?
We've had very few casualties.
That is true.
Hopefully we keep it that way. Harold.
I don't know if Jennifer's still with us.
Just passing that off, Jesse. You don't look good, man. It's not. Is it because you did a video about Donald Trump being the amazing deal maker and we're this close to a deal now? Like just yesterday or last night or even earlier today because you're going to leave work early. And so you're like, hey, I'll just pre-tape the show because fuck it. I know what I'm going to say even before it happens. So, and then you pre-tape it and you're like, oh shit, it's already in the bag. Now I got to retape my show because I said we're 2 days away from the most amazing deal and the war's over.
With this, but I was curious. I imagine because of our response and the way it was proportional, she said it was a port city, it was expected. But at one point earlier today, we thought this might have been an accident on the part of the Iranians. So clearly, that I assume because of our reaction.
Yeah, it was an accidental hit with a Shahed drone against an Apache helicopter on the coast of Oman.
And the ongoing attacks there, that is not.
It came off one of those little lightning boats they talk about that are no big fucking deal. That's the other thing. Jesus, you guys are fucking stupid. How in the world? How do you do it? Maggots, how do you do it? Sorry. Jennifer says, the grass is people. People are saying that the TYT's First Amendment rights were violated when he was not allowed to speak at Oxford. Oh, you mean Hassan? Yeah, Hassan's rights were not violated. First of all, England doesn't have a First Amendment. We do. Our First Amendment does not enforce your ability to speak in other fucking countries. He was not refused the ability to fly out of America. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of people would be for it. What he was refused was entry into the UK.
Is not the case. I guess the questions I would have would be, does this escalate? To what extent does this escalate the attacks from Iran on our allies in the region? And for that matter, does it restart? Are we going to restart military activities? Now, I want to be very clear. I thought we never should have stopped our military activities, even while negotiations were underway, just to ensure that the Iranians knew how serious and how.
Thank God we have a liberal on the panel of the five. Thanks, Harold.
How meaningful how intentional we are in wanting to ensure they get no weapons, that they can't develop a nuclear weapon. But I'm curious if Jennifer's still there. What does she think how much of an impact does this have?
Zero.
On negotiations
between
us.
Because there are no negotiations. The whole deal is a farce.
And the Iranians, for that matter, between our Gulf allies and us.
Yeah, the President Kennedy has been so patient during the ceasefire.
Hasn't he, though?
And has really given peace a chance. And everybody's wondering, how long is it going to take before he kind of changes things up?
Well,
changes things up. You mean goes back to bombing?
No, Jesse, I always like to provide Rachel Maddow with some talking points. I realize she only works one day a week. But this is obviously the President of the United States just changing the subject after the rain of boos at last night's NBA Finals game.
Well, don't forget the Epstein files. And of course, the cost of living and gas.
No, but it's, I think that
his tariffs getting thrown out.
This is an important point in
his name getting taken off the Kennedy Center.
This incursion. I think that, an unmanned maritime drone vehicle, that's really fascinating. And
it's so good. It's so much better a story than those guys being shot down in the first place.
This goes to show where the development has been in the military, because there's been a lot of discussion about using, a $2 to $3 million missile to shoot down a $30,000 drone. So as the military under Pete Hegseth has been working diligently to expand our.
Yeah, that's not what this is. It's a remote control fucking boat, lady.
Counter drone technology. This is one of the projects, obviously.
No, it isn't. That has nothing to do with counter drone. These are sea drones. These are pro drone. What are you talking about? These boats aren't out there to like kamikaze into air drones, you fucking tit.
That is far less expensive than some of the traditional items of warfare that we have seen. And it will also be a very interesting tipping point, not just in terms of.
Right. First of all, this was in Omani waters, asshole. What does this have to do with? All right.
Drone technology and how we fight our enemies, but how do the hawks in this administration respond here? Do they use this as an entree to expand the fighting? Or is this going to be something that is quick, dirty, and precise to get all the parties back to the negotiating table? So in that sense, it could be an important inflection point.
Okay. It's not an important inflection point. It it is an interference point in the negotiations. This isn't like, oh, well, we needed to have something shot down, so it broke things loose a little bit.
It appears that the only thing that's preventing us from based on reporting, and the president's not calling me and sharing any information, nor is Mr. Witkoff or Mr. Kushner, but it appears that the real sticking point here is the nuclear dust and their ability.
Bullshit. It's not just the nuclear material. It's reparations and the unfreezing of assets and all the sanctions. Those have to go too. And they want those before any discussion of the nuclear material is made. They want that done first, and then we'll talk in a few weeks. I've seen this. We've all read it dozens of times, fuckwad.
Ability and capacity to develop a nuclear weapon. We put on the table a 20-year plan for them to suspend and not pursue any kind of nuclear weapon. They came back with a 10-year. That's what the reporting suggests. And now we may be at we may be able to settle there 15 years. But what I can't quite get my head around, my arms around, they are still launching ballistic missiles. And they clearly have some military capacity because they are the Iranians.
No, they have all their ships are at the bottom, beautifully at the bottom of the sea. They have no airplanes. They have no anything. They have no anti-aircraft anything.
That is. So I'm curious as we think about all this, as the negotiations are underway, I'm sure the president and the team were thinking about this, but
why? Why would you be sure of that, Harold? What in the fuck makes you think you're sure that they're thinking about any of this shit?
If they can still launch a ballistic missile and still attack an Apache helicopter, maybe they're not as weakened as we think, which again is why I believe that the military attacks on our part should not stop as we go through these negotiations, because I think it puts even more pressure on them and gives us more leverage in those negotiations.
Yeah, the president indicated that he does not want to resume major combat operations. He said if we did do that, you'd have the strait closed for another 2 to 3 to 4 months, and he doesn't want that. And he keeps saying we're very close. We're days away, and I don't know what that...
Yeah, he's said we're days away for weeks now. At a certain point, do you ever call bullshit, Jesse?
Means we've heard that for a very long time.
Right. It's, what could that possibly mean? Hold on one second. I have an inkling. I'm fairly certain.
This is some bullshit. We see through it.
That was just bullshit, Joel.
Bullshit!
This is some bullshit.
That was just bullshit, Joel.
Can't undo it.
Bullshit! For fuck's sake.
I mean, oil has gone down. It was closed at, I think, 89 today, but gas prices are very high. And there's a lot of people in the administration, I think, that would like to see the job finished. And others think that, we're pretty close.
Jesse seems sad. Is Jesse okay? Has anybody, checked on Jesse in a while? Because this is not working out well for Jesse.
Close, but what do we know?
That has never stopped us.
Yeah.
Too bad they demonized Tesla, Jesse.
What does that mean? Too bad. That's the ending line on this. Too bad they demonized Tesla. Jesse. All right. So we're back to strikes over there. They don't seem to know any more than what I guess the Trump administration wants them to say. I would imagine that they're I don't know if we have any footage or there you go. This is PLG local. I don't know what this one is.
But first, new U.S. strikes on Iran following the crash of an Army chopper against an Iranian drone off the coast of Oman, plus new attacks by Israel in Lebanon, likely complicating the ceasefire. Here's Washington, D.C.
What ceasefire?
Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy.
Tonight, in the war with Iran, President Trump announced the regime shot down a U.S. Army helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz, sharing on social media that the U.S. must, of necessity, respond to this attack.
Must of necessity.
The IRGC strike brought down the AH-64 Apache on Monday, sending the crew of 2 crashing into the sea near the coast of Oman.
The pilots are fine, yeah. Nobody injured.
U.S. Central Command says the 2 American soldiers
Sure, we'll just take your word for it.
were rescued by a sea drone, marking the first such operation by the U.S. military.
Never such operation.
As while on the tarmac overnight,
Wow, this is how you walk down steps.
the commander-in-chief touted they could be 2 to 3 days away from locking down a deal to end the war.
We're in the final throes of what will be a very, very good deal.
We're in the final throes of what would be a very, very good deal. Okay, that's, again, not English.
That will not allow in any way, shape, or form nuclear weapons, etc. And the Strait will open up right away. It'll open up immediately upon signing.
The latest terms to cease the conflict reportedly include an agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days. In turn, the
within 30 days.
U.S. will lift
that sounds like immediately.
its naval blockade of Iranian ports. It comes as the Middle East remains on edge, with Israel launching new attacks against the Iran-backed terror group Hezbollah in southern Lebanon this morning. As Iran state media reports that 2 of their air defense units were killed in an IDF strike yesterday, amid threats by Iran's forces of retaliatory attacks.
Sorry, how did he phrase that?
This morning, as Iran state media reports that 2 of their air defense units were killed in an IDF strike yesterday.
Okay, the units. I guess every soldier in it.
Amid threats by Iran.
I guess we're destroyed, though, since it's a unit.
Forces of retaliatory attacks if provoked.
I don't know what the reaction is going to be, but obviously Iran cannot be firing on U.S. troops. That's a serious problem.
Apparently they can.
Tonight, the Pentagon just said that American forces launched self-defense strikes against
absolutely.
Iran in response to the downed helicopter. As we now wait to get the details on where it took place and also the damage done. Louis?
Well, didn't you show footage of a burned up helicopter? I'm guessing it's gone and they're alive.
And Ben, has Iran responded to the U.S. blaming them for the downed helicopter?
They did, actually. Louis, Iran's foreign minister is telling U.S. forces to leave the region, to leave the...
He said foreign minister, not foreign minister.
Strait of Hormuz, warning they could get caught in, quote, the crossfire. He did not directly respond to this specific attack that is said to be done by an Iranian drone. Louis?
Ben Kennedy at the White House for us tonight.
Super good. Everything's working out very well. I think we're definitely going to we're in the final throes of a great deal that's going to happen in any minute now. Export reports U.S. Incom announcing self-defense strikes. U.S. trade blows as the Bandar. Okay, that's 40 minutes ago. The U.S. strikes over downed helicopter. Where's this? Yeah. That's just footage of a helicopter. People are stupid. Okay. Oh, no, that's 3 days ago. That's the older ones. Reuters. I'm going to check and see if Reuters has any footage of what's happening. There's the live vessel traffic. That's good. Live vessel traffic at the Strait of Hormuz. Boink. Let's see. I'm trying to find the, if there's any, well, Yemen's Iran lines. Houthis. Nope. Kenyans protest against Ebola stuff. Mm-hmm. This is too long ago. So nope, they don't have any, nobody has any actual footage of it or any, what they think is close to footage of it at this point. Nope. Okay, well, that'll be it then. We'll just check that out for the later in the day. Oh, and this is the Fox News response to it. I'll give you this right before I go. Hold on. This business right here.
Apache helicopters while patrolling over the Strait of Hormuz. There were 2 pilots involved. Both are safe and uninjured. Nevertheless, the United States must, of necessity, respond to this attack. General Arnold Punaro was here saying he thinks that the president should respond not in kind, but really bloody the Iranian regime for doing this. But now the U.S. is saying, oh, maybe they didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, please. Look.
Oh, damn. Yeah, please.
The president has been incredibly patient with the Iranians, and this is how
this guy looks like a televangelist who has kids in his crawl space.
The reward is his patience. This has to be a decisive attack. It's not proportionate. I agree. It can't be a pinprick strike, and the goal should not be to bring them back to the table. The president said,
well, too late,
that if the Iranians killed a single American, that would be resuming combat. And they listened to that, and they just tried to kill some Americans. The message couldn't be clearer. This regime is not interested in cutting a deal. There is no Iranian Delcy Rodriguez with whom to cut a deal. No. The president has tried this. It's not working. And I think he needs to go and finish the job.
So back to this idea of whether or not they meant.
Now I want to, the problem with that clip is now I want to go watch Blue Thunder and learn how to fly helicopters. I think to bring us all around full circle, Bill Burr, listen to me. Bill Burr actually plays could fly a helicopter. He took lessons. Yeah. It looks like Grimace. Yeah. The lavender jacket situation. There was where is it? This one? Yeah. I think Jesse Waters had to do a report on this too on his regular show. This is why he was so upset.
Fox News alert, the president just gave Israel a final warning. Quote, don't blow up our deal. In the last 24 hours.
Oh, that's why he was upset. Right. This makes sense. So he taped this before.
Missiles have been screaming through the Mideast skies, the biggest barrage since the ceasefire. Hezbollah fired a rocket at Israel, and Israel, without giving the White House a heads up, launched a missile into Beirut. They did tell CENTCOM. Then Iran.
So I guess they assume CENTCOM has Washington's number.
Iran shot off 30 ballistic missiles at Israel, first time in 2 months. The IDF and the United States knocked them down. Trump called Netanyahu, told him to take your finger off the trigger. We're close to a deal.
And then Iran blew up one of our helicopters, and we struck them because this is all going so well. We're gonna have a deal any day now. I don't even know how. We dealt with the conspiracy theories at the beginning of the show, and now we're just dealing with the real answer to most conspiracies, which is human incompetence. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Don't forget, morning show, 9 a.m. Cliff Schecter's joining us, and Philip Bittner from Ukraine will be with us each for an hour, and then in the afternoon we'll have a regular show and more madness as we do. And good Lord, I almost worried there for a second, like I was gonna, on my way out play the song, but then I thought the kidney might be coming, and then I was worried that they,
A very special place in the heart.
I warned you guys. I knew that's what was going to happen, and then I don't know why people don't listen to me. It's like saying, just don't bring it up. Okay, don't say it again. Thank you guys so much. Hit the like, share the show. Don't forget to subscribe.
Wait, right, bow, pull tight, crown like cold, winter light. Scroll in hand, 7 seals, every word cuts and heals. Red horse screams, hooves like drums, sword raised. sun. Silver short for everyone. Pale horse waits, eyes like ash. Graves awake, tombs unlatch. Hades hangs on a trailing chain. Every pulse spells your name. Wars and rumors of wars, spoken like a curse in the dark. Every headline, every scar's another cracked heart in the ark. Wars and rumors of wars. Whoa, echo from the prophets and seers. When the Lamb breaks the seal, all the old world shakes with our fears. Fifth seal opens. How long? How long? Blood at the altar becomes a song. Six seals shatter, sky like glass. Kings of the earth hide in the cracks. Wars and rumors of war.